A very warm good morning to each of you present here. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you to the second edition of She Loves Tech India 2020, conducted as part of the Women's Startup Summit. She Loves Tech 2020 Global Startup Competition is the world's largest startup competition focused on women and technology, headquartered in Singapore, with a goal to create a borderless global ecosystem of startups and resources. With international rounds held in over 30 countries, the competition provides a platform for not only women entrepreneurs but also startups dedicated to improving the lives of women globally. This year also, Kerala Startup Mission will spearhead the second edition of the national competition focused on women-led or women impact businesses. Kerala Startup Mission, the nodal organization that handholds the startup ecosystem in the state, also supports angels, incubators, and accelerators. Kerala Startup Mission implements forward-looking policies for creating a vibrant startup ecosystem, primarily to foster the growth of innovation-led technology entrepreneurship. This year, we have called for applications and have received around 100 applications. And out of the applications received, we have shortlisted top 12 finalists for national pitching and 28 startups, including the top 12 for mentoring session and investor cafe. Today, we will witness the pitching session of the top 12 startups shortlisted for the competition. And the one best startup winner will have access to the virtual international bootcamp and conference organized by the She Loves Tech global team. Today, we have with us Ms. Virginia Tan, the co-founder of She Loves Tech. She is also the founding partner of Teja Ventures, Asia's first gender-lens venture capital fund, which targets early-stage women impact companies. Virginia's background is in law and finance, where she was an experienced finance lawyer for more than 8 years, specializing in energy, resources, and infrastructure sectors in emerging markets, and has worked in Europe, Middle East Asia, Africa, South America for two Magic Circle firms. In 2014, she was selected by the World Economic Forum as Global Shaper. She has been closely associated with us from the past year, and I take this opportunity to welcome Ms. Virginia Tan for the opening remarks. And also, I wish to welcome you all to the second edition of She Loves Tech India 2020, conducted as part of the Women Startup Summit. So, I would like to welcome Virginia ma'am for the opening remarks.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Absolutely delighted to be here at She Loves Tech India 2020. It is, thank you again to our partners, Kerala Startup Mission, all of our mentors and judges, and of course, a warm welcome to all of our entrepreneurs here today. She Loves Tech is now the world's largest startup competition for women in technology. This year, we are in 30 countries across 6 continents. Startups have raised more than $150 million in the last 6 years after participating in our competition. We are extremely proud, and every year, it is amazing for us to see the quality of startups increase, year on year. I wanted to share a little bit more of our story. In 2015, we held the first She Loves Tech in Beijing, and it was a room of about 10 startups as well, just like today, about 100 people, and a few budding venture capitalist firms, which have now become some of China's biggest venture capital firms. At the time, we wanted to create a platform for women technology entrepreneurs or businesses which we believe use technology to positively impact the lives of women. We never thought that it would go beyond one country or one event, let alone 30 countries today. I think what we've seen, on the journey in the last 6 years have been everything from fintech, medtech, edtech, e-commerce, even space tech, IoT, SaaS, and increasingly, I think in the last 2 years, a lot more things focused on sustainability, women's issues, for example, clean tech, uh, and I mean, incredible things like that. And I think I wanted to share with you a little bit more about why we do this at She Loves Tech. I think 50% of the world's population cannot solve 100% of the world's problems. We want to bridge women and technology because we believe that elevating and ensuring the role of women in technology is the key to solving some of a new generation of innovation, disruptive thinking, is what I call cognitive diversity, and the question really is, what does that cognitive diversity, do for all of us? Can that cognitive diversity and these contributions actually, make the world better for all of us? And I think this is particularly relevant, in a post-COVID world, where I think we're shown that the world that we live in is actually not as perfect as we thought. And there are many, many, many gaps, in terms of the way we live, the way we work. And so I think this is really an opportunity for us, especially using technology and innovation, to really, amend those gaps. And we're seeing a lot of these kinds of innovations, come up. The other thing as well that we notice, I mean, what does She Loves Tech programming look like right now? Every year we have, the competition, we have our conference and our grand finals, which is in about less than a month. We have education. And what we're trying to do essentially is that for next year onwards, we're trying to roll out our own proprietary educational tools. Because we've realized that the one biggest challenge, I think, that entrepreneurs face, but women entrepreneurs face in particular, is what we believe is the funding gap. And we want to find, and we are as a team actually working to create those proprietary tools to solve the funding gap, because it is not enough to talk about women getting only 2-3% of complete venture capital, but not having the solutions to address it. And finally, a community like yourselves today, a supportive community of investors, of entrepreneurs, of mentors, of executives, all here joined with us to support, women in technology. And again, my most sincere thanks, goes to our partners in India, Kerala Startup Mission, who have begun this task with us to take She Loves Tech all across India, which was a very, very long dream of mine and our team. So without much further ado, I would like now to declare She Loves Tech India 2020 open, and we cannot wait to see what the startups today will bring to us. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed today. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. So now I request Mr. Rasik to call the startup schedule for the day, today's pitching, and take over the event.
Thank you, Srikuti. The startup pitches are scheduled from 10 to 12 a.m. Well known. So the first startup will be Bioscan Research. I would like to invite Shilpa, founder of Bioscan, to pitch on the main stage. Also, I invite the judging panel, Mr. P.K. Gopalakrishnan, co-founder Malabar Angel Network, Mr. Rahul Savoor, and Ms. Sukriti Saroj. I think we still have 10 more minutes. Let the panelists join the main stage and wait for a few minutes.
Information. Nobody knows how much we dream before we really do something today. People never get that we would have been dreaming of this much, much more before we opened that first office or recruited that first employee or got that first little bit of funding. The dreams are much lower than that. Nobody gets that.
The role of women in society and enterprise was discussed at great length at the Women's Startup Summit held at Kochi. Infuse more technology in the necessity-based venture. People have started challenging this innovative entrepreneurship alone. There is, for instance, among the women entrepreneurship literature resulted in this information that in fact there can be necessity-based entrepreneurship and there can be opportunity-based entrepreneurship. And how can we infuse technology into necessity-based entrepreneurship, which will make the work better and the earnings better for the women concerned. The Women's Summit held at Kerala Startup Mission Integrated Startup Complex saw the participation of some of the eminent women from all sectors, including film, enterprise, technology, and investment.
One thing which I wanted to put forward to you here is that startups are only a subset of larger entrepreneurial ecosystem. And typically startups by its definition has got high value addition at the same time high risk potential. The reason why a startup mission is there, the reason why we have a policy framework is there is primarily to minimize that risk to the extent possible.
Summit is going to be a big difference from one standpoint, if not anything else, which is about the fact that women will get the self-confidence and the assurance that they need, that there is a support system available, that there is an infrastructure available, that there is a network of people out there, men, women alike, who are there to support them and take them towards success.
The session addressed the topic Indian Women in Entrepreneurship. Women from Kerala have the potential to set a role model for India in the innovation sector, opined IT Secretary M. Shivashankar, IAS.
If India is to make a very big impact in the global scenario as an innovative and disruptive ecosystem, women would have to come in larger numbers, and in Kerala, where generally it is a gender-friendly ecosystem or gender-sensitive ecosystem, we could possibly lead the way and perhaps show how this story can be reflected for the rest of the country.
Infusing technology into necessity-based ventures and technology to solve social needs are the key points discussed in the summit.
Speakers and panelists discussed the importance of transforming technology into an entrepreneurial opportunity for the community and the need for building an inclusive enterprise ecosystem.
In startup, women have an edge because there is a multitasking natural capability that women has. And men have their own capability in terms of certain other things, which is a natural from a gender perspective. What I feel is if you make sense, nobody will discount you. People takes you seriously. And that's the way world has evolved today.
These kind of openings and ventures are actually giving more opportunities for the women to explore their potential and their ideas, and it's actually giving wings to their dreams.
Get skilled workers, that was the main challenge I had. That's how actually I switched on to Innoways.
The national grand finale of She Loves Tech was also held as part of the summit. Sika Onco Solutions founder Nusrat Sangamitra won the She Loves Tech award.
I think the first part was actually the idea of startup itself was a new idea when it first came in. And now, encouraging women for startups, I think it has a bright future because women are naturally seeking more flexibility, independence, and more meaningful work.
Role we play in a family, how we negotiate between people, we get things to happen, we group them together, we make people feel good, we make them feel like they are, going on a journey which is going to be exciting and happy for all. We do this day in, day out, don't we? I mean, we are best trained for it. Who else is?
The summit was held in association with Confederation of Indian Industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to She Loves Tech 2019. You are now a part of the largest women in tech startup competition in the world.
Over 80% of our 70,000 teachers are female, and I just feel fortunate that I'm working with them every day. Today, they are working on this innovative technology platform. The moms, now they feel so happy with this global teaching service that they're able to obtain on a VIPKid platform.
在很多女性的创业者身上看到很多的闪光的地方，这是不是一个好的创业者？他其实是男性女性没有关系，也不要去贴这样的标签。每个时代都会有自己的创业公司啊，只不过他用不同的形式在。其实今天需要你不光是有自己一个 truly believe 的想法，有一个 vision， 你还得有 step by step 每件事情都做到对的这样的一个执行力。
Thanks, panelists, for joining. So we will start our pitching session in 5 minutes. So right now, I would like to welcome our judges of the panel, Mr. P.K. Gopalakrishnan. Mr. P.K. Gopalakrishnan is a founding member of Malabar Innovation Zone, Kannur, and Malabar Angel Network, which invest in startups through its members. MyZone incubates the startups under the overall charter of KSUN. Over the last few years, he has been active in startup ecosystem of South India. He's also part of the leading angel network in India called Indian Angel Network. The next judge in the panel is Mr. Rahul Savur, who's a regional head of South Region, Wadhwani Advantage, part of Wadhwani Foundation. He's a result-oriented professional with 25 years of global experience and a record of success in technology, sales, business development, and management consulting. Worked with small as well as large enterprises in India and the US. Entrepreneurial experience in e-commerce and mobile application development. Also, we'd like to welcome Ms. Sukriti Saroj. Sukriti is part of the investment team at Social Alpha. In this role, she is responsible for end-to-end portfolio and investment management functions, including deal sourcing, evaluation, due diligence, fund syndication, and post-investment handholding. Prior to this, she was heading the investments at Lead Angels and led numerous successful investments across sectors in the Indian startup ecosystem. She holds 5+ years in financial sector across several roles, including stints at IBM India, Religare, and their investment banking business. Also, I would like to welcome Ms. Virginia Tan. She's also already introduced to you. She's a founding partner of Teja Ventures. And now I would like to welcome our first startup, Ms. Shilpa from Bioscan Research. Shilpa, could you please raise your hand so that we can move you to the main stage? I hope all the panelists have received their scoring sheets you have with you.
Yes, we have.
Thank you, sir. Rahul, hope you have this.
Yes, sir, Harry. Just a clarification. We are going to just fill up the sheets on the online Google form itself, right?
Yeah, that would be fine. You have separate tabs.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Virginia, do you have the sheet?
I'm asking on WhatsApp. No worries.
You're not audible.
I'm asking for the sheet on WhatsApp. No worries.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Shilpa. You can share your screen and start pitching sharp at 10 a.m. We have 3 more minutes for you to share the deck.
Sure. Thank you. Can you see my deck? Hello?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, so shall I start? Razik, shall I start?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fine. Good morning, everybody. I am Shilpa Malik, founder and CTO at Bioscan Research that has won multiple awards for its innovation in brain hemorrhage detection. What is the problem that we are trying to solve? So, more than 20 million people suffer from traumatic brain injury every year in the world, and only 35% of them come back to normal life, not because of lack of treatment, but delay in detection. The situation is worse in India. So, why does this problem arise? Imagine a paramedic staff screening a trauma patient who has no external injuries or no apparent symptoms. Very, very bleak chances that he would be referred for a brain CT or MRI scan. That's where we come in. We equip the paramedic with our device Cerebo. It's a very small device, the size of a hair dryer. You just scan the head within 2 minutes and it displays green or red on the screen. Green indicates normal and red indicates hemorrhage, so refer for a CT. It's battery operated, so it can be carried to the site. It's based on optical technology where we are using light that can penetrate skull to detect bleed. So it has a deep tissue investigation capability. It's very easy to use. Just switch on the device, select location, scan, and you're done. We are launching our first commercial batch in November, and we have successfully tested the device against the gold standard today, which is CT scan. So we compared every result that we got with the result on the CT scan, and we found we were able to detect all the cases of hemorrhages. We are well protected through our patents. I can take you through the patent portfolio in the question and answers round, but one is granted. The patents are in the domain of optomechanics, electronics, and instrumentation. We have 3 leading hospitals as our pilot partners, including NIMHANS Bangalore. And in 2019, we also got an invite from US Army to see how we can deploy this device for a paid trial with them. So once we deploy it in India, we are going to resume the negotiations with them. We have already got the NOC from the CDSCO, which says that our device is a low-risk device. And as you see on the left, we also got, so we have a tie-up with Civil Hospital, because of which we did the clinical testing. We have letters of interest from potential customers, and we have our first purchase order as well. With the existing solutions, as I already mentioned, the comparison with CT scan, so I'll not go into it. This is a question, I'll take it up later. Now, there are three revenue sources: one-time sale of the device, subscription cost for the software, which basically maintains all the patient data, and then there is a pair of caps which is needed per test. So, these are the three revenue sources. There are three variants which we are launching: Cerebro, Cerebro Plus, and Cerebro Cloud. The difference between them is in the computing power on the device and also the cloud subscription. We are targeting two customers: first response sites and injury prone sites. First response sites are those where the patient will go once he or she has been injured, and the injury prone sites are where the injury is likely to happen. So the first response site would include trauma centers, ambulances, disaster management organizations, while the injury prone sites are defense, and we have got very strong interest internationally from sports academies. So there, after every match, they want to scan the person's brain. Our market adoption strategy is very simple. We are, we are doing clinical trials with the best doctors in the field as our principal investigators. So we automatically onboard them. We also have identified the public hospitals that can do direct purchase without, if they are interested in the device. And we also, one of our acquisition strategies is that we are participating in many programs which are coming out with deployment, programs specifically for startups. So we have onboarded 2 distributors till now, and we are also doing direct sales, or we will be doing to especially the corporate chains like Apollo or HCG. The founding team includes myself. I am a former scientist from DRDO. I used to work on military system design and development, and I lead product development here. My partner is an ex-regional manager from Brunswick, which was into defense, boats manufacturing, and he leads commercialization. Our advisors are industry veterans. As you see, we have Dr. Jaimin Shah. He's head of neurosurgery at Civil Hospital. Mr. Rakesh Menon from Stryker. Stryker is the leading company in trauma care, and Danny Birand from Israel. We are 7 full-time team members, and we have 5 consulting members from around the world. We have raised close to $270,000 till now, and we have spent it to develop the prototype and test it and do the industrial design, and we are seeking $700K. Just last, this is our last slide. So, the technology that we have developed, our flagship product is Cerebro, but the same technology would be used in other devices where we have identified, like the deep hemorrhage detection in preterm babies. And there are future potential applications we have identified. Thank you.
So, judges, you can use this time, next 3 minutes for any question and answers.
So Rahul here, I just had a question on your pricing model. So if you can just explain that a little bit, please.
Yeah, so our base price starts with, so it's 7 lakh upwards. So the base is 7 lakh, then it is 9 lakh, and then it is 11 lakh. So the base is, it's like you do the test, you get the result. The 9 also includes a patient monitoring module, and the 11 has all the features, which is the cloud component. So there are many algorithms that are deployed for the customers. So personalized training, their performance, utilization. We will be able to showcase a lot of things in the premium model.
And what kind of margins are you making on these products?
So, our pricing is close to, our BOM is close to 1 lakh. So over and above that is like, we have not included the distributor price is actually 5.5 lakh for us. So the rest is the margin.
So I'm Gopal Krishnan. Your primary market is cities, right? Cities?
Sorry, sir?
Your primary geography would be the cities?
No, sir. Actually, this device would be more useful it's irrespective of geography, and especially in the rural and where the availability of CT and MRI is limited. There is sometimes needed the prioritization. There is one ambulance available for so many districts. So it will have its real power in pre-hospital scanning.
Yeah, so I was just trying to simulate how many numbers you will be able to sell, let us say in a district or in a city in the first 3 years.
Sorry, sir. How many?
How many numbers you would be, I mean, you would have done some planning, right? So for example, a
Yes,
city
sir.
like Bangalore, or let's
Yes,
say
sir.
a district like Ernakulam, Kochi, how many
Right,
numbers you
sir.
would be able to sell in the first 2 or 3 years?
Sir, how we are strategizing is there is a number of units that we can sell as a market, but we are targeting based on what resources we would be able. So we are doing a sales target for ourselves. So like in the first year, we are targeting 120 units. In the second year, we are targeting close to 1,300 units, and in the third year, we are targeting somewhere like 2,700 units. It's based on the kind of resources that we have to deploy to get to these markets, because the number is larger, but what we can achieve in our resources is also like what we are seeing and how much we have to spend.
And the price the trauma center will charge the patient would be how much?
200 rupees to 500. See, we did a market survey with the potential customers. So what we saw is based on the infrastructure that they available and how they are charging, there is a difference that they said that they would be charging. So an independent clinic owner told us that he will be charging somewhere like 200 to 250, while a facility which also has an associated neuro facility will charge somewhere like 500 rupees.
And the full CT scan would cost how much?
So it starts from 1,800 to 6,000 rupees right now. As I said, infrastructure wise, and where you are doing the CT.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Hi, Shilpa. Sukriti here.
Yes.
If you can just help me understand, like how much average sale time the sales cycle takes, and what are the strategies outlined to to take it to more number of hospitals.
Right. So for the first 120 pieces that we are targeting the next year, as I mentioned, we have onboarded 2 distributors. Now, these distributors are not onboarded just to, sell the device that we'll give it to them. They have established relationships and they have already come back with the interest for the device. Now, what we will be doing is we will be going and talking with these and finding out that, how the installation process, how things can happen. In this this is one thing that we are doing. Secondly, we have already identified the public hospitals, as I mentioned in our strategy, which have the capability to purchase this device. So we are already onboarding them, like Nimans is there, Civil Hospital is there, KGMU Lucknow is there. They have already, SMS Jaipur is there. So they have already shown interest to the principal investigators to come on board. So this is actually we have the approvals also from Nimans Civil. SMS is also an advanced conversation. So once we onboard them, they are the leading opinion leaders in the market. So we would generate leads because of them, and also their own hospitals have the decision-making power to purchase from 50 to 100 pieces.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
I hope all of you have asked your questions. We can move on to the next pitch, I think. Thank you, Shilpa, for your presence. We will be going to remove you from the panel.
Okay. Thank you, Razik. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you. You can rejoin using the link which I shared.
Okay. Okay.
Idea you could remove.
Razik, the Google form is not editable online, so I've just downloaded it and I'm doing it.
Yeah, that would be fine. I will share you a link, a Drive link. Try that one as well. I'll share a Drive link to your number.
Okay.
The next startup will be Brain Groom. The founder is Ms. Madhula. She'll be joining soon. Arya, you could allow Madhula from the participant list.
Hello, Madhula, can you please raise your hand?
Madhula, I request you to please click on the raise hands option so the admin can move you to the main stage.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Razif.
You can share your screen. You will be having 5 minutes to complete your pitch, and then you can take the next 3 minutes for the question and answers.
Sure.
So sorry, yeah, I can see your screen. So I'll be giving you a timer. On completing 3 minutes, you'll be getting a beep sound.
Sure.
So that you can complete it in the next 2 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, let's start.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is Madhula, co-founder of Brain Groom here. We are very happy to share our social impact through EdTech journey with you all here today. So Brain Groom is a multilingual online learning platform powered by gamification and learning bots. We have successfully trained around 25,000 students in various technical and skill courses so far in different languages, particularly vernacular languages, including Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, and Odia. And we got some wonderful customer testimonials, from specific business channels as well. So our vision is to train around 1 million tier 2, tier 3 and rural students in the next 3 to 5 years. So we started, with this problem statement that, we thought lack of vernacular content is the only problem faced by rural students. But once we started working with them closely, we figured out that there's a lot of underlying problems like lack of actually interactive and engaging content for them in an online mode, and lack of affordable nudge programs that brings about daily learning discipline in an online learning environment. And on the other side, the corporate CSR and NGOs were also targeting on the same set of students between the age group of 18 to 23 looking to upskill themselves for the first job. They also had some problems. So, something like, the traditional offline training methods were not scalable, and the impact and fund utilization was very difficult to track. So we started with this problem and built a very exciting solution, which is vernacular in nature. We have deep rural reach, and we have power tools like Nudge, social learning and gamification frameworks. So here comes the icing to the cake. Our average course completion rate is around 75% compared to the industry average of 15 to 20% from even the premium providers. And a solution is highly scalable with automated learning bots, which has helped us increase our final assessment scores and daily active user count. So this is how a solution looks like for the user. The content gets delivered by the Brain Groom LMS, and MCQs and doubt clarification, all that happens. The personalization aspect comes from the WhatsApp bot, which handholds the student on a daily basis and gives them surprise quizzes. It gives the complete personalized feel that there is a tutor which is handholding the student on a daily basis. We strongly believe that this is going to change the way online learning happens for rural students in a country like India, which has very low student to tutor ratio. And last but not least, which something that our students really love about us, is a highly engaging social learning aspect through micro learning groups. So we club students into 4 to 5 micro learning groups and give them hands-on assignments on a weekly basis. And this happens within a gamified environment, which has which has points-based systems and virtual gifts and other things. So together we have a very highly engaging and enriching learning experience. And we always listen to the market and build our courses, something that has high job opportunities and highly trending. A few of the technical courses and skill courses that we launched here is what you're seeing right now. And we also handle students end-to-end, right from candidate sourcing up till assessment and placement, with power tools like gamification and bots. And we've been present in different business channels. We work with colleges and corporates in under B2B, but we figured out that a true north lies in B2C and B2C to achieve high impact and exponential growth both together. Under B2B, we have
We have 2 more minutes.
marquee clients like Michael and Susan Dell Foundation and LaborNet. Under B2C, we work with students directly through digital channels, various digital channels. We have trained around 25,000 students. Initially, it was more of around Tamil and Hindi. Now, Marathi and Odia is also catching a pace. We have wonderful partners on both recruitment and corporate CSR and foundation side. This market is a 100 million market, 2/3 of which is rural middle class and 1/3 is urban middle class, which we are trying to achieve through our two key focus areas, B2C and B2B2C. We are as affordable as someone like Udemy, but our learning outcomes are as good as a premium provider like Simplilearn and Upgrad. That's how I would simply put forward or compare ourselves with the competition. So we do micro marketing through vernacular language, and we have wonderful click-through rates and lead cost. Under B2B2C, we do influencer marketing, CSR, NGO conferences, and direct marketing. We have a wonderful set of team, 3 women co-founded startup, one of which is based out of Singapore. Myself and Kalai, we are friends and batchmates from college. We have 8 years of experience before starting this. We also have a wonderful set of advisors, both on the CSR side and technical side. Our tech advisor is ex-VP Grab Singapore, and the business advisor has great depth of CSR knowledge. This is our operation for the next 3 years. We're planning to launch a lot of courses in different languages, and we're planning to balance both B2C and B2B2C in the next 3 years to achieve high profitability. We are looking to raise 1 crore of seed round right now. That's something that we is in pursuit, and Social Alpha is kind of showing interest in being a lead investor. And a lot of good things are happening in EdTech during COVID. We are here to stay and grow the company. And with a perfect combination of vernacular content and highly robust learning support tools, we are very confident that we'll be able to achieve our vision of training 1 million students in the next 3 to 5 years. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Madhula. That's we have kept on to the time. You still have 5 seconds remaining. So, judges, please have your questions.
Hi there. Thank you for your presentation. I'm Virginia. I have 2 questions for you, right? Because the edtech scene is actually very, very hot now in Asia, especially in India. There seems to be a lot of from a value proposition perspective. What do you think is the value proposition from your product? Because right now, it looks like there's quite a lot of stuff you're doing. I thought the WhatsApp stuff was quite interesting, but what would you say is your key value proposition compared to Baidu or the other big edtech companies in the market? And the second thing is, what has your attraction been like during COVID? Have you seen 10x growth, 5x growth? Maybe you can share with us a little bit more.
Yeah. So, Virginia, the first question, to answer to your first question, see, there is a lot of content available, like you said. We are focusing, our target segment is 18 to 23 age group, students in college or recent past outs looking for their first job. So for them, there's a lot of content available online. I do agree. There's a lot of premium providers, a lot of free content. But what differentiates us, or what stands as our key, USP, is the strong delivery that we are being able to achieve, or the strong interactive and experiential learning experience that we are being able to offer through the combination of learning bots and gamified social learning within a gamified learning environment as an add-on tools to the basic LMS vernacular content that we have. So the vernacular.
This is pure digital product, is that right? This is pure product. There's no offline component. There's no human.
No, not at all. Because see, we are in the rural segment, right? The minute you bring a live tutor, your cost shoots up. So we have recorded content. So we are offsetting that piece with learning bots, automated learning bots, and gamified learning environment by creating social, learning groups. And this is, this way we are being able to offer the same kind of solution with high, user engagement at a very affordable cost. So that works, stands as a key USP. And with respect to the COVID, the second question, COVID, yes, there's been a great amount of, traction, improvement in the traction that we're being able to do, because students are having a lot of free, time in their hand. The daily user, the daily active user count has actually increased a lot in the last 6 to 7 months, and there's a lot of interest because students want to kind of prepare themselves because they know the market is getting competitive because of COVID. So a lot of good things with respect to the traction is what we are witnessing. There's earlier we used to kind of motivate student a lot to kind of actively log in daily, but now it is easily happening. That's the difference that we've seen in the last 6 to 8 months.
And just tell me your business model, right? Because I saw your competitors just now. I'm quite familiar with the space, right? Is are your competitor like your B2C model, right? Currently, you're a direct B2C model. Is that right?
No, we are there in both B2C and B2B2C. See, we work with corporate CSR foundations and NGOs also as an end-to-end training partner. We work with Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, Sambhav Foundation. So that's on the B2B2C side. We work with even companies like ITC as their CSR training partner, where they have observed the end product, like the trained resources themselves also. So all that comes under B2B and B2B2C. And in B2C also, we have reached out to, we are present in 4 states where we have directly sold it to students also.
But what would you say was your greatest revenue drivers?
In 2019, we started with B2C, but then once we started creating a niche in this space, we started getting a lot of inbound requests from, these corporate foundations and NGOs and all. So 2020, it has been more of like 80% of B2B and 20% from B2C. And we're a small team, so we are kind of trying to focus on one thing at a time. So this round of funding that we're looking forward is to kind of bring a good balance between both the, revenue channels.
Just a very quick comment for me, right? And do what you will, do what you want with it, right? I know B2B will give you more stable revenues, right? Especially since there's so much demand, right? Especially because you're focusing on sort of underserved or rural. But at the end of the day, what will make you a valuable company in terms of valuation drivers is actually B2C. B2C.
Definitely. So in fact, Virginia, the products or tools that we have, built, which actually the B2B gave us a lot of focus in improving the learning experience. We have built all these learning bots and gamification while we were working with some specific foundations. Now we are relaunching it in B2C.
So my one advice to you, right, is that if you're going to do a B2C kind of play, which is what I believe will make you a more valuable company in the long run, you should really focus on position, not on revenue. I'm just saying that. Because, what I'm trying to say is that it's quite ironic actually in venture capital, because what essentially will give you revenue will not necessarily make your valuation go higher.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whereas like if you, for example, because it's really interesting, you have gamification, you have, digital features, and your bots and everything. But if you can find a very, very viral type of acquisition strategy to gain a lot of C's, I assure you, you will raise.
Definitely, Virginia. See, that's what we are also trying to do with the relaunch, with the new products that we have built under the B2B model. So with this round of funding also, we are pretty confident that we'll reach there soon. We will definitely take that, advice to heart when we relaunch into B2C.
No problems. Sorry, I don't know if the other judges have other questions.
I'm Gopal Krishnan. I have a couple of questions. So you said you are primarily in the rural areas, right? So if you can give me 1 or 2 locations and how many students you have in that particular location, and how has been the growth in that location?
Yeah, we are in deep rural in states like Maharashtra, Orissa.
No, I would like to know the name of the town or taluk or whatever.
So aspirational districts, we are there in all the aspirational districts in Maharashtra and Odisha. So there are some 8 aspirational districts in
Can you give me a name? Can you please give a name and tell me how many students are there from that district?
We have so far trained around 2,000 students in Maharashtra, out of which some 500 students are from, aspirational districts like Gadchiroli. So I mean, top of the mind, if you're asking for names, I just have to,
No, because one way of validation for me is, how we are growing in a particular district.
I can share all those data like post the call. So we have strong data for all that, how we've been serving. In fact, we do certificate verification for these kind of students when we train them under CSR programs, right? So we have all those data, supporting data. It's just the top of the mind. Like one sample is Gadchiroli and then Nandurbar.
So the second question is, what do you actually teach? I missed that point. What exactly is being taught?
Yeah, so we have 2,000 plus hours of content and 30 plus courses, 70% of which is technical courses like digital marketing, web development, machine learning. 30% are functional and vocational, like basic banking, basic sales for retail sales. So these kind of courses. Vocational training, we have something like solar panel installation, those kind of courses. It's a mix. So we listen to the market wherever there's like high job opportunities or whichever our B2B clients wants us to, create to train in bulk, we build such courses.
Yeah, and the last question, I didn't understand the CSR fund flow. So, say Michael and Dell Foundation, they give you the money or they give the money to the students?
So we are the training partner. We work on an impact bond model. So once the student finish the course and completes or passes the final assessment, and that's when we get paid by them. So it is a free program for the student under B2B2C, whereas we get paid by the foundations when we achieve what we promise them. So it's an impact bond kind of a model. Whereas under B2C, we directly sell to students through different digital channels.
And how much are they willing to pay, the students in the rural districts?
So far, the pricing range has been somewhere between 2,500 to 5,500. So B2C, we've got a very good presence in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. For CSR foundations, we are going deep rural. So because that is a free program for the student, right? So that's how we are splitting the market and serving it. So CSR and the NGO foundations, it's deep rural. For B2C, we are reaching out to tier 2 and tier 3 students as of now.
Okay, thank you.
Hey Madhula, so my question is basically on the jobs. So I understand like you are using and leveraging WhatsApp as a channel, but what is your larger vision for integrating, jobs down the line? How do you envision your platform, that how it would work? So basically, if you can share your views on the placement part of the value chain.
So see, the other side of the ecosystem, it's learning becomes meaningless without jobs. So we feel like it's like two sides of the coin, right? So one side is like learning, and we are focused a lot on improving the learning experience, and the other side is jobs. So which we have already done within our network, even beyond our mandate. We've connected our students, like we've got some 2,000 plus students placed. We have data for that within companies, within a network as freelancer, part-time interns, and also few full-time roles also. But this round of funding that we are looking for, so we are trying to kind of build the other side of the ecosystem by partnering with more placement providers and other stakeholders, so that it becomes a complete system, a complete learning ecosystem, right? So our vision is to get more companies on board who are interested in giving more opportunities to students from such background, tier 2, tier 3 and rural background, with which in fact would be beneficial for them also, right? They'll have more retention, and it will be more cost effective also for them. So that's the kind of unique ecosystem that we want to build as a project.
Got it. Thanks. But do you have any, corporates or any job providers on board with you?
So we have signed agreements with RPO partners like Quest and TMI, and there are a lot of companies that we are working with right now, like ITC, Access, Bank Bazaar. There are a lot of companies that we are working with, and there's specific requirements, like on quarterly basis they want so many trained resources and things like that, for which we want to kind of work with our corporate partners and go deep rural and find candidates and train them. So that's the two sides of ecosystem that we are trying to bridge and create a good supply chain of trained rural students for these companies.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you, judges. I think we are already running late on the schedule. We can move on to the next speech if you don't have any other questions. Thank you, Madhula. We will be going to remove you from the panel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Virginia, Sukriti, and Gopalakrishnan. So thank you so much for your time today. Looking forward to. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I invite Axmartic for the next speech. Ms. Rashi Verma, founder of Axmartic. You could please raise your hands. Arya, you can allow Rashi Verma to the panel. Hi Rashi, hope I'm audible to you.
Hi, yeah, you are audible to me.
Okay, you can quickly share the screen.
Yes, I'm doing that.
We'll be running a timer.
Sure.
We'll be alerting you. Yes. Yeah, it's visible. We will give you an alert on completing the 3 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rashi Verma, founder and president of Axmatic Technologies, founded in 2017 with the mission to help the farmers to improve their crop yield and through data-driven approach like AI, IoT, and at the same time helping them to optimize the resources. So when we started in 2017, we looked at the farmers' pain point in the pre-harvest side. So the major problems we looked at, it was improper irrigation, which leads to actually 40 to 50% crop loss. Improper irrigation, whether it's in under irrigation, over irrigation, it leads to huge loss. It also impacts the pest and disease, and 30 to 40% loss is due to that. Another problem was the climate change, due to which farmers are not able to get the timely guidance and advisory, due to which they have a lot of loss in that also. So overall, we can see there is a total monetary loss of USD 150 billion per year. So what we at Axmatic, we came with a solution is known as a Croplytics ecosystem, which is a blend of AI, IoT, and satellite. So in the water side, we provide an Croplytics autonomous irrigation system, which help us to automate the irrigation, and it helps us to know when and how much to irrigate. In the pest side, we have Pestlytics, which is a pest surveillance system, and it helps in early detection of pests. On the top of these, we have Croplytics advisory, which helps to provide farm-specific advisory to the farmers, and it handholds the farmer from sowing to harvest. So this is Croplytics Smart Irrigation, which is a hybrid system of soil sensors, satellite sensing, and crop water model, which helps to automate the irrigation process, and it helps in improving the yield and lowering the resource usage. So you can see the pictures of the system. How it works, how the autonomous irrigation works, you can see the sensors which are deployed in the soil, and it takes the soil moisture and temperature. Then with collate with the satellite sensing and all these data, weather data, everything, it goes to the cloud, and it helps to come up with a precise plan that how much water is required by these crop. This is Pestlytics, which is still under the development. It is AI and ML based pest detection system. It takes the pictures of the pest, and it helps to early identify what kind of pest it is, and it then provides the recommendation to the farmers in local languages, and it alerts them. Coming to the Croplytics farm monitoring, which is a satellite-based system, it takes the satellite data, and it actually provides the alerts to the farmer in case some anomalies is found. We also train the farmers, and whenever they get registered to our system, we train them, and we help to provide the best POP to them. Let's see to our management team, who is the brain behind this innovation and thing. So I'm Rashi Verma, founder and president. I have almost 10 years of experience in business development, and I did my master's in computer application. Abhishek is co-founder and CTO. He has over 15 years of experience. He completed his MS from Iowa State University and had advanced program in data science from IIM Calcutta. Dr. Neevan is IoT head, and he has over 10 years of experience, and he is PhD electrical engineer from Iowa State University. Nupur Bhatnagar is the business director, and she has almost 20 years of experience in the business development. These are our advisors, Dr. Govind Gajjar and Dr. Vikram, who has extensive experience of combined experience of 60 years, and they help in the agronomy side. Coming to the impact, till now we have been able to save water, energy, yield input by almost 20 to 25%. In some cases, the improvement was more than 40%. Coming to the implementation and traction, we have been working with government of Punjab, then Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and some of our important clients are L&T, ISAP, IRI, Kaizen, Ambuja Cement, Coromandel. Till now, the app download has been 700, and paid farmers at 30%. The farmers can easily download the app, and it is available into 5 languages. We have partnered and collaborated with 2 major organizations, Impargo in India and Hydroplant in Myanmar. Market size, if we talk about the market size, the global farmland is more than 3.8 billion acres, and the market the sector which we are targeting has a potential of USD 1.7 billion annually. Business model is our B2B and B2C. We have IoT for agriculture and hardware-backed SaaS. In terms of go-to-market strategy, we are targeting the FPO and FPC, and we are also targeting the existing supply chain channel and distribution partners. We are focused on large-scale and medium-scale size farmers also. Coming to the revenue model, we have four streams. One is the premium basic, where the farmers can easily register free and can get few of the features free. Then we have remote surveillance, which is a subscription based, and it is monthly based, where we are targeting the FPO and FPC. Then we have the Pestatic, which is a device which can be sold one time, and autonomous irrigation, which is again for the large scale farmers. Come to the revenue projections, we target to have 13 CR by 2023. Growth strategy, currently we are in the phase 1, where we are selling the hardware and analytics to the farmers. In phase 2, by March 2021, we target to have physical presence in Punjab and target to have more than 3,000 farmers on our board collaborating with the
Solvi, 5 minutes.
Coming to the landscape, Fasal, Cultivate, and Nucleus are few of our competitors, and these are the awards and accolades. We were awarded by Bayraktai winner 2020, and we are incubated in Indigraph Lang Foundation, NASCOM CEO IT. Thank you. I will be happy to take the questions.
Thanks, Rashi. So what's the persona of the farmers you are targeting to? And if you can also help me understand on the unit economics, like what's the production cost and basically at what price point you are selling it to these farmers?
Okay, so we are targeting B2B and B2C. In B2B, we are targeting the FPOs and organizations which are there, like Ambuja Cement Foundation and all. And FPOs are there who actually take our services. And in B2C, we are targeting the large scale farmers who has around more than 5 acres of land and to whom we can actually sell the irrigation devices. So they take the devices plus the analytical services. For FPOs, we have the farm management services where they take the remote surveillance feature service, and then they actually register their farm. They get a whole database where all the farmers, the small marginal farmers, are added, and they can actually get a full view that how many farmers, how many acres of land, what kind of crops they are growing, and how they can actually plan for their post-harvest.
Okay, but I'm assuming there must be some competitor in this space, right? So is it the variation in the pricing that, is the value proposition to the farmers, or what exactly?
Yes,
or
yes.
what's the uniqueness?
Yeah, competitors are there. As I told, Fasal is there, and Cultivate and other are there who is competed in the irrigation side. But what different we are providing is the hybrid solution. Plus the pricing point is, yes, in Indian agriculture scenario where our price is less in comparison to that. Plus we are providing a pump controller where the controller can be attached to the pump, and they can actually control the irrigation via mobile, which others are not providing. So this is add-on. And second, our system can work on drip irrigation, flood irrigation, and sprinkle irrigation, because we have our wireless valves, which is based on LoRa, and it can easily actually get connected to the existing system. So these are the few things that we are providing on top of it. So the existing players like drip irrigation, like Payal and other distribution channels who are already in the market, they can actually take our system and they can put on top of it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I'm Gopal Krishnan. So,
hello, sir.
You not mentioned Cropin. Are they not your competitor, Cropin?
So they are into the insurance, and they are providing the advisory kind of services. So currently we are not in that sector, sir.
I thought they are exactly doing what you are doing. Okay,
Sorry,
anyway, I thought they were doing exactly what you are doing. Anyway, leave that aside. So how will you manage change? What we find that that farmers are very reluctant to invest, and that to invest in technology. How will you manage this behavior of farmers, change management?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get change.
I'm saying it is very difficult to convince a farmer in Indian sector,
Yes, sir.
Indian scene to adopt
Yes, sir.
technology, and that too by paying money, right? He has to
Yes,
invest.
yes, sir.
It's not easy to
That's
convince
true,
a
sir.
farmer.
Yes, sir, that's true. In Indian scenario, it is difficult to actually get the money from the farmers. That's why we are targeting the FPOs and organization currently in the first phase. And then we are targeting the large scale farmers who are actually coming through the website and all. They connect directly to us. So currently, the customer acquisition is not very high for us because we are not going to the small and marginal farmers. So we are targeting a set of farmers who are already aware of the technology and who wants to use it.
Yeah.
So once we are targeting to have a physical presence in one of the state that is Punjab. Once we have a present there, once we start selling our devices and have a trust, so I think we will be able to build that trust with the small and marginal farmers also, where they can actually pay for the service.
Yeah, one add-on question and final question. Is there an ROI calculation with you? I mean, if I'm a farmer, I invest X rupees, what's the benefit I get? Have you been able to demonstrate real, tangible, monetary benefits?
Yes, sir. In the monetary benefits, where we actually installed our device in one of the farm, and still the advisory service and the irrigation device that we have installed in few farms. So we were able to actually save 40% in the input side. Water and electricity was saved, but in the input side, we were able to around 40% in one of the crop P.
Okay, thank you.
Rashi, this is Rahul. I had a question on the one-time cost that the farmer would have to incur, and is it linked to the size of the farm? I'm guessing it would be because you would have to probably deploy more sensors as the size of the farm increases. So if you can give some idea on that, please.
Yes, so for 1 acre of land, we suggest to have one sensor and one controller. So once the acre increases, the sensors also increases, but the controller remains the same. So for a 10 acre of land, if we say, it will come around 80 to 90,000 rupees.
And is that the average size of the farm that you're targeting?
No, it is not the average. Even large-scale farmers who has around 2 acres or 3 acres of land and they want to deploy, they can easily deploy our devices.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Raji. I think we don't have any other questions.
Thank you so much, judges, for the question.
Thank you so much. We will be removing you from the panel. We will quickly move on to the next startup pitch, which is from Enlight Research. I would like to invite Ms. Garima to the main stage. Could you please raise your hands?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Garima from Enlight Research. Let me just quickly share my screen here. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. So what problem is Enlight Research trying to solve? When we look at the commercial real estate market, the commercial real estate market is largely subdivided into two segments. There is a 10% of the building segment and a 90%. The 10% building segment is the Class A category of the buildings, which is 250,000 square feet and above. And largely, it has always had a building integration technology, which has been provided by dominating leaders like Schneider, Honeywell, Johnson Controls, Siemens, UTC, ABB. They've always made, since n number of decades now, BMS solutions for them, which is nothing but building management solutions, and have been catering to this 90% of the large infrastructures. But then what about the remaining 90% of the buildings, which are the small and medium-sized segments, which cover a humongous amount of land globally in the CRE estate? So here's the problem. The 10% of the market, which is catered by these dominant players, has largely always been wired systems, which have been very difficult to deploy, which have required skilled people not only to deploy those solutions, getting in on high capex, but also required skilled people to be operating these BMS solutions on a day-to-day basis. The cost of deployment has been extremely high, from anything between $2.5 to $7.5 per square foot, and has always been catering to these large buildings where the occupiers have a long tenuity to live, and hence their ROIs have also been on the lines of 7 to 9 years. They again provide some very rudimentary binary and basic functionalities, and the cost of data acquisition is even higher when compared to a deployment cost. So what did the remaining 90% of the buildings do? Traditionally, because the remaining 90% of the building being small and medium-sized segment, they have had occupiers, which are largely tenants, having anything from 3 to 5 years of lease periods, never wanted to invest in a solution which was very expensive, which required skilled people, which required a different technical bent of mind, as well as deep pockets to deploy those solutions. So they started looking at different point solutions. Now, these point solutions were subdivided into various segments. So if you wanted to solve a problem for energy, there were companies doing either monitoring or optimization of energy. There were different companies in workspace management or tenant management. Then a few more into facility management, access control, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, there were a lot of multiple siloed solutions which had absolutely no stitching between them. And again, these occupiers or tenants were struggling with the unification of the different point solutions that they had deployed in the building.
2 minutes remaining.
So our thought was to make a wireless solution called BIOS, which is a mix of the wireless device that we have and an AI-driven software platform. Our integrated offering go above and beyond what a BMS provides, from a HVAC control to dimmable lights, access management, asset management, visitor management, fire detection, water consumption, space utilization, meeting room booking. The advantages are the truly wireless structure, which makes it very easy to deploy in any kind of a space. It is a BMS plus and a cost minus solution, cost fraction of cost of a BMS. The biggest advantage being interoperability, where the hardware and the software platform is completely agnostic of whatever it has been already used inside a building, and the occupant centricity. The competitors are subdivided into how the market is defined: the 10%, which is largely dominated by the market leaders of BMS solution, and the 90%, which is subdivided into different point solution of monitoring or controlling, where we are trying to become a comprehensive solution provider which can actuate all the hard services inside a building and be able to monitor and provide smart analytics on the soft services of a building functionality. The TAM is $75 billion of the building automation market. However, we are looking at a sector which is 90% of the market in APAC, which stands at $10.5 billion. Our revenue model is automation as a service because we provide different modules. We have upgradable revenues, which can be selected from some plain vanilla offering as simple as access control and go up to energy management, plus light management, plus AQI, so on and so forth, and provides analytics and intelligence at the top of it. We've already raised about $780,000 till now, which has been in the form of
5 minutes over.
safe notes and ring. Our roadmap is simple. We are currently, we already have the BIOS version 1 that has the AQI monitoring, the HVAC control, the light control, and the contactless access controls. We are looking at enhancing our portfolio to include a larger integrated offering of our solution, and finally going the vision-based way. The partners are, we are a part of Hong Kong-based accelerator called Bring, where we've been funded. We work with ecosystem partners as our channel partners in the likes of EY, CBRE, ISS, Wipro, Tata, etc. We are a part of Qualcomm Network. We have been finalists in the Built World. And here I am at She Leads Tech. The team is, my co-founder is Gaurav, who's a Harvard alum who has been a CEO of a large outsourcing company and an AI company. I, Garima, who have been working largely with startups. I've been a founding member at Oyo Rooms and a D2C brand called the Momsco. And a mentor, Kriti, who has been the head of Urban Science Department in IIT Bombay. And that's where we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Judges, please have your questions.
Hi, Garima.
Hi, Virginia.
I'm here. Very, very impressive. I want to talk a little bit more about the competitive landscape, right? Because, you know, I'm seeing a lot of these sort of smart buildings, management systems. You know, I'm seeing a lot of them, for example, in energy management and energy sort of conservation in this part of the world. Can you tell me a little bit more about the value proposition? Because you talked about 10% of the market being dominated by the big players and then 90% really, you know, in terms of on point, very targeted type solutions, right? So I want to understand a little bit, what's your value proposition and sort of, you know, what makes you more comprehensive? I saw that you were not monitoring, but actually on the solution side. Maybe you can share with us a little bit more. Thank you. And a little bit more about your business model.
Absolutely. So Virginia, we started out in 2017. In fact, we also started out as a core energy management company where we were looking at controlling different type of HVAC solutions. So we were like from split to window to ductable to VRF, VFD, we can control everything. And that is how we started deploying our solution. So we started working with Wipro because that has its smart city solution. So they had a segment of energy management where they took our IoT solution. Then we started working with Tata Projects because they have a sustainability division and they already had a clientele who were looking at energy optimization. What happened from there, what we realized is that there is only very little demarcation in point solution when it comes to smaller sized buildings. Because everybody will come and say, okay, you know, I can give you 20-25% saving. Maybe I can give 30 instead of 25. But at the end of the day, I'm still providing an energy solution, maybe some intelligent analytics, but that's about it. And that is not enough of a differentiating factor. It becomes very commoditized. So when we were doing deployments with all our partners, and fortunately, we got a chance to work with the likes of CBRE and ISS, who were IPCs and had a lot of clients, we realized that we were really operating in small size buildings. The larger ones, which were global standard following like WeWorks and all, they already had BMS. They were not looking at these solutions. But the small sized, they would ask, do you have these dimmable light capability also? Do you also have some platform which can unify? Because I have these 5 different things. So we started researching on this and we realized that actually there is no BMS. By our primary research or by the virtue of working with our partners, we realized that there was no integrated offering for all these small and medium-sized segment. So while the larger problem to be tackled in these SMEs was still energy, but then there was a large white space. So people put fire alarms, but are not able to integrate it with HVAC or with access or with other building level functionalities. That is where we saw that, you know, can having a bunch of hardware with us, only very few hardware solution under absolutely unified software platform, be able to get all these intelligence and sensory data to a single unified platform. That is what will make us a little demarcated in the market.
Got it. And this is what I'm trying to understand, right? Because, you know, like you have all this different hardware and you have, obviously you're creating the software system, right? So when you plug in, for example, the hardware, how much customization do you need to do for, let's say each, because I can see, for example, it could be one building system has like 5 different pieces of hardware, right? How easily customizable, or because I see solutions like this, but they take quite a lot of customization. So how do you actually intend to, you know, like how do you intend to sort of integrate all the hardware, you know, on a sort of a scalable basis? Yeah.
Right. So our hardware is very minimal because our idea was we should only make which is not available in the market or is very expensive for SMEs. So the only hardware that we make is a universal thermostat. And we put in 2 years to build this thermostat, which now can actuate and control any make or model of HVAC equipment. So that is taken care of because we do not need to customize that. The second hardware that we make is contactless access control, which is again not supported by Wiegand or OSDP, but works on Bluetooth. So again, it is a very, very simple architecture on a simple mechanism. And the third is nothing but a field sensing device, which is able to gauge multiple parameters in a building like CO2, TVOC, temperature, humidity, etc., around 6 or 7 parameters, because all the other hardware are already available in the market when it comes to fire detection, when it comes to CCTVs. So for the things which are available in the market, we look at not making them, but at integrating them. So for their integration, we've developed controllers which work on MQTT as a protocol and are able to talk to any make or models of the hardware that is available in the market. The only disconnect here could be that if somebody has something working on a proprietary protocol, which might take some time, but otherwise anything which is operating, say, on a backnet or any other protocol is very easy to integrate. And the idea was to keep everything open source. So it was agnostic of any hardware which any person is using across the small and medium sized segment. Because doing tweaking a lot of times would have, absolutely, you're right about it, would not give us the scale and would take a lot of time.
Perfect. And your business model, is it sort of like a, you know, like a yearly sort of subscription fee plus, you know, depending on how much hardware that you're going to integrate, like how does it work? Or is it per, you know, yeah, how does your model work? Yeah.
So it is per square foot charges, and it starts from a 30 paisa to a 5 rupees, and it works like Netflix. So, you know, if you take up an annual plan, this is the monthly amount that you have to pay. It is in recurring. If you choose a 6 months, this is the amount that you have to pay, or it is quarterly. And this is a mix of the hardware and the software devices that we use. So we do not want to charge upfront for capex and then a recurring, because the recurring becomes a really small amount in that case. So we charge a subscription fee, which is per square foot basis on what model they've taken. So it starts, the most basic model is only access control, which provides access control with time, leave, and attendance, and goes up to light plus the entire energy plus access plus security and surveillance, etc. So the good thing about this model is that I could be probably operating only in 10,000 square feet area. But if you take the most basic model of mine, I still have the potential to upgrade my revenues because the system is upgradable. So either I can upgrade my area or I can upgrade my system. In either way, the revenue model is upgradable for us.
Oh, got it. So it's basically variable, right? It's yeah, I got you. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Virginia.
Any of the other judges? Okay, if judges are no other judges have questions, I got one more question actually. I want to understand, you know, you said 10% of the market is dominated by the big players, right? You know, etc. So how, like, are they also doing integrated systems, or like how do you compete with them apart from price? Yeah.
Right. So the good thing is that the 10% of all the leading players in 10% are serving only the 10%, because when we look at BMS is not, I would say they are not in the business of automation, but they are in the business of licensing and AMCs, because that is where they get their money from. They're very expensive systems. So if there's a large building, 250,000 square feet, where you have to deploy a BMS, you know, you are not removing this BMS for 10 years because you will not get your ROI. So these BMS providers never get their ROI from small buildings, and that's the reason nobody caters to them. The BMS providers have come out now because everybody's talking about IoT. So the proposition that they have currently in the market is, okay, you take a software platform. But what is the interesting thing about taking the software platform is it is proprietary and works with a few controllers of the BMS companies. So a platform which works with the family of devices that it comes from. So if you take a Siemens, if you take a EcoStructure, which is from Schneider, you have to take a controller from Schneider. So it's not agnostic. So small and medium-sized buildings do not go for BMS, and BMS, because of the sort of money that it looks to make, is only catered to by the large infrastructures.
Great, Garima. I have a piece of maybe a suggestion for you that, you know, as you further go down the line and you're looking for bigger, you know, investment, I would really highly consider that you get a strategic investor who is like a property developer of some kind. So all of their buildings, you know, because I really believe that the kind of solutions that you provide could really give these buildings higher sort of commercial value in the long term. So, you know, I think in your case, you know, strategic investors are actually very, very important. So then because I think it sounds great, but actually is really about your acquisition strategy and how you compete, you know? Yeah, thank you.
It's actually very helpful, Virginia. So in fact, that when we are also talking to people right now to raise investment, we're either talking to people who are property developers or who are co-working space providers. So we are talking to a bunch of people because right now what we need is shorter GTM with higher leverage. So yes, what you absolutely say makes sense, because if we are raising money, then it cannot be just money. It has to come with its own set of connects, which can help us expand really fast into this segment. So you're absolutely right there.
Right, because your acquisition strategy, I would say, is key, which we didn't see in the presentation today. It's great to focus on the smaller buildings, but you need to think about your market penetration. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks, Garima. Thanks, Virginia. Is there any other questions from the judges? I think there are no questions more. Thanks to Garima for joining this. We'll be moving you from the panel. And I would like to invite Feme Vista Technologies founder Uma Kasuji. Uma, could you please raise your hands? Arya, you could allow Uma and Mahua Mukherjee to the main stage.
Hi, Razik. Can you please allow my co-founder Mahua also?
Yeah, she's on board. You can share your screen and start the pitch. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. You can see my screen, right?
I can see your screen.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. This is Uma. I'm one of the founders of the Star in Me. The Star in Me is a global career advancement platform for women and a diversity partner for organizations. All of us have been in countless rooms in business situations where women have been in the minority. And this gender gap is not just a problem that is specific to India, but this is a problem that exists with organizations across the world. And solving for the gender gap is not just a social imperative, but it just makes more economic as well as business sense, as a lot of data goes to show. Mahua and I started the Star in Me with a vision to bridge this gender gap in the workforce and in leadership levels, having witnessed a lot of these minority situations ourselves. We do this through the Star in Me, which is a scalable data science-based platform. And through the Star in Me, we attack the gender gap from 2 angles. One, we help women accelerate and succeed in their career journey so they can grow and get to leadership levels. And on the other side, we help organizations in recruiting and developing the right kind of diverse talent. The Star in Me is the first ever global career advancement marketplace that connects 3 parties: women, organizations, and experts. Women accelerate their careers by using a variety of personalized services and curated resources from the platform. Organizations leverage the platform to recruit and develop diverse talent. And we have experts from across 4 continents who provide services to both women and to organizations. Diversity is a $1 billion industry. Organizations across countries have begun to spend on diversity initiatives in large quantities. And even women have begun to invest in their own careers through a variety of interventions. So the immediate target market that we are looking at is around 50 million women professionals and 700 plus organizations, to start off with majorly in India, but then across the globe. Given the potential of this market, there are a lot of players that have entered this market. Here are a couple of organizations that we are competing with. And if you would notice, all of them have raised huge rounds of funding because of the kind of potential this space offers. The advantage that the Star in Me has is that we are the first ever marketplace for career services globally. We are highly curated, and given the data science-based platform, we have global reach and we are highly scalable. Over to you, Mahua.
Yeah, now coming to our business model. So we have 2 dominant sides of the platform: women professionals and organizations. So why do women professionals come to our platform apart from networking and engagement? So as Uma mentioned, as they want to scale in their careers, they would need a lot of services like mentoring, coaching, upskilling, and career guidance. So continuous learning is a big, big mantra. The next is job transition. Today, if you see the entire recruitment market is from the lens of a demand. So we are trying to look at it from the lens of the talent, where the talent comes on board and we help them with job search advisory, to assistance and other errands, like when you come for a job, your resume writing, your LinkedIn profile, your interview support. The next side of the platform is the organization clients. So why should organization clients come to us? Apart from having their own learning and development academy, they want the cutting edge research and the best of work that is going on, which our partners do, and leverage us for continuously grooming their own women talent and taking up to them to their leadership levels, and also getting a systemic approach of D&I solutions. The second and the biggest piece I think we will grow in the near future is the diversity talent recruitment. So now we have a platform which has captive audience, and the organizations come to just get those captive audience for their mids, young and the senior level positions. The big thing, so what is our go-to-market strategy? So, the two big takeaways from this slide I would try to say is our partner network. So whatever we have grown is with the collaborators that we have. We collaborate with a lot of women networks like Lean, Google Techmakers, Women in Technology, and academia partners like ISB, IIM, and others. Until date, whatever growth has happened is without spending any money on digital market, but we eventually have to do to scale. So what have we achieved since Jan 2020 launch? Till date, we have close to 525 women members from 60 plus countries, absolute organic. We have onboarded 75 global experts and we have 8 organization clients. The logos are visible. This year, we have garnered around 20 lakh revenue, and we plan to close the financial year close to 40 lakh, with 60% coming from organizations. We have a data science-led platform, and partial services for organizations have started. Now, the big question is, how do we see ourselves till 2023? We believe we can grow to 1 million members with working with 400 global experts and working with 250 organizations. We believe this has the potential to grow beyond 100 crore, because as we grow, it has to skew towards B2C, and we believe 60% of our revenue slowly is going to increase towards B2C versus B2B, given that we will also start other revenue channels like the premium subscription for B2C. And there are certain conversations happening with SME organizations who are interested in an enterprise product solution of the platform that we have.
5 minutes over, please conclude.
Okay, so we currently are looking for 400K for a 12-month runway, because whatever you see here is done by me and Uma and few interns and the tech team that we have. This is the team. So me, myself, Uma, and a tech partner. Open to questions.
Hi, Mahua. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm very familiar with these models, building a lot of these communities for many, many years now. I have a question for you. How, the first thing which came to my mind, right, as an investor is this a venture capital play, for example? So I want to understand, how digitized are your products and your processes? Because a lot of these things actually have always existed, but were actually very offline. So I want to try to understand a little bit more. I understand all the segments that you have, but I want to understand actually what does the actual product look like? Is it just content? Is it classes? Is your mentoring online and offline? For example, Chief, right? A lot of the mentoring and the groups are actually offline.
Yes.
So they make too much money because they were targeting super high net worth, VPs of Fortune 500 companies. So maybe you can share with us, share it with us, actually, what is your product?
All right. So I think as we speak, and Uma is kind of showing the product on the screen. So as we speak, Virginia, I think 60% of our product is digital, 40% of it is still offline. And I think the offline component will not get away ever. There will always be an offline component when people are trusting your careers and growth progress. But we will be able to put the entire networking happens online. The mentoring, 40% of the matchmaking happens online and the 60% happens offline. But our vision in the coming years is to predominantly make it 80% online and 20% offline. What we realized that we will not be able to take care when we're working with human capital is to take away the entire offline component.
I agree with you to a certain extent, you know, but I think, again, being very, very direct as an investor, is that what's actually going to make you truly valuable, again,
sure.
is I look at a lot of these companies all the time, and what's going to make you truly valuable is the extent at which you can digitize these processes, because the stuff which is offline is going to be very, very hard to be scalable, right?
Absolutely.
Like completely scalable. And I want to ask a little bit more, like, what are your revenue drivers right now? You know, healthy revenue, but what are your revenue drivers right now? Is it on the recruitment side? Is it on the talent side of things, which is what I'm assuming, or is it on the education side? Like, where is your revenue coming from?
So as we speak, and the 2x2 metrics that we had, 60% of our current revenue comes from organizations, and the rest 40% comes from individuals, of which everything is, you know, again, the maximum of it comes from advancement, where they pick and choose solutions from the digital platform on the marketplace. So all the solutions they choose from the marketplace that we have, and 60% comes from organizations. The recruitment piece has just started 3 weeks back. That's going to scale. We haven't garnered any revenue from recruitment yet.
So what are the organizations paying you for then?
The organizations are paying us for all the leadership and development programs. There are annual programs, there are on-demand programs, and advisory oriented models.
Offline or online?
Offline.
So you see, so this is very interesting, right? Because it's the same comment I made earlier on. What is actually going to make you very revenue sustainable may do nothing for you in terms of valuation or when you're raising money. You see, which is ironic, right? Because
yeah,
the first thing a venture capitalist is going to say, okay, then this is not a VC play. This is a training company. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So in fact, Virginia, I think there was a slide. I don't know, Uma, whether you can shift between slide and this or not. So we, and this was actually not in our vision, but it came because of organizations' discussion, is the enterprise product. So today the companies were very, very much interested after they saw the product, saying, hey, can we use it for our company? So there are 3 big tech companies. If you see the enterprise product solution that we're talking of, they said, we want to use this, but give us our firewall. It is for our employees. So can you make it a licensed product where you're using it for our own employees alone? So this is an advanced conversation that is going on. Do we have a product where they can use this as a SaaS solution? The answer is no. Do we want to get there? The answer is yes, and conversations are on. And you're bang on.
Allow you to do what? What would the SaaS solution allow you to do?
The SaaS solution is, they want the entire thing, because we couldn't show you the product, where you can, the women in their organization can become guides and mentors. And then if they ask a question, say, I'm a data warehousing expert, then the questions will only go to the data warehousing experts. Say I'm a consulting expert. So through the platform today, if you ask a question, the question can be directed to only the experts on that particular technology or solution. So the matchmaking happens automatically on the digital platform. Nobody has to do a manual matchmaking of a mentor and a mentee. So yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Virginia.
Hi, Uma. Hi, Moa. So first, can you actually let me know, like, what is the defensibility on the platform, basically, because there are competitors in this space, right? So why, I mean, if anyone even has to start something like this, why they cannot replicate this model or the platform? That is one. And second, on the placement aspects of it. So basically, what is the success ratio? Because it's a match which you are, it's like you're balancing out the demand and supply equation. So basically, what's the success, or is there any percentage, you guys have actually came across, like how it is actually benefiting the your customers?
So I will first start with your first part of the question, where how will some others not be able to do it? So there are 2 solutions that's on the market, Sukriti. One is being an open market and a curated market. So one thing, while the people would come onto our platform, because all the solution providers on the platform are vetted, and they don't have to think about the trust of them, and they know they will get the right solution from here. We have got this question saying why LinkedIn cannot do this. Is this LinkedIn for women? We can name it whatever, but I think there is a very guided solution, because you might get lost on platforms on what you're supposed to do. But here there is guidance in terms of, if you're an early career professional, what are the things that you can do? If you're a mid-career professional, what is the learning content? What are the kind of services? What are the kind of coaching that you need to take? Or what is the premium content that you need to consume? And if you're an advanced career professional, what are the services? It's very, very personalized, and somebody who logs into the platform, Sukirti, we take their interests, and given their interests, we only push content, connections, and services basis their interests, so that they are not lost on the platform. The second question of yours of what's your success matrix? We started the matchmaking just 3 weeks back, and we have close to 20 B2C clients who have registered for that service. Within 3 weeks, after 2 weeks, at least they already have started facing interviews, which is a very, I would say, a short cycle time from a onboarding to an interview cycle. Success, we are yet to see. Uma, if you want to add anything.
One thing to add to that, both Sukriti and Virginia, when you spoke about scalability and how we have a competitive advantage, what we are trying to do in comparison to a lot of other players who exist in this space, both in India and abroad, is that everything is online. So we are constantly adding more services, more service providers to the platform. And then all you have to do is to go and make the purchase online. So we have the ability to scale this to a great extent as we add more service providers. Today, whatever traction we've been able to achieve is just Mahua and me and a very small team of interns that have been doing it, apart from the technology team. But given the kind of traction we've seen with extremely minimal marketing effort, we think there is huge potential. And also our technology product is quite superior. There is a lot of interest from players and women and organizations who are based abroad also, because they think quality of the product is extremely superior to a lot of others that you see today, to the extent that a couple of large organizations such as Oxford University Press, which is based across the globe, they have requested their women employees to join in and leverage the features on the platform. So that's the kind of traction we've been able to see so far.
That's great. My advice to you, would actually, from an investor perspective, is actually be focused on your product. Because right now, this one presentation alone, I've heard at least 4 things. Okay, so I've heard, community for mentors. I've heard the enterprise SaaS. The third one is that you do offline training, and I think the fourth one from what I've seen is that essentially is education courses online as well, which I just saw, right? So I think that just from a product positioning perspective, you got to be more focused. You can be all of those things, but that will not necessarily help you from fundraising or valuation perspective. It is good to really figure out what is actually going to be your driver and how you're going to position yourself in the market. I invested in an Indian company called Shiro's, for example. They don't do what you do, but it's about being focused. So that would be my takeaway. Yeah, because you can come from all kinds of places. All people can have all kinds of requests and demands of you, but the question really is what you're really trying to build. What is that vision? And that's got to be clear. Are you building a LinkedIn? Are you building a SaaS? Are you building a social network? It's all different. Yeah. Or a tech platform. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question. You said you want to achieve 100 crores, right, revenue. By which year you are planning to achieve that?
It's within the next 5 years.
Okay, and 60% of that is coming from corporates.
No, as of now, 60% is coming from corporate, but we see in the future it's going to get skewed toward B2C rather than B2B once the platform is totally ready and is digitized enough to our conversation with Virginia that most of the buying and the engagement happens through B2C.
So that individual has to pay you to get their CV or resume on your portal.
Yeah. Yes. CV is one part of it. Next year, we are also going to get started on premium subscription model, which will be a bunch of services from premium content to continuous learning and connections. So a premium subscription will get started as a revenue channel from next year.
So today the platform is free for women to join from across the globe, but then going forward, some features will be paid. And today what happens is, to your question, if I want to get a resume makeover done, then yes, I pay for it and then get it done. So, depending on my career stage, I pay for it and then get that particular service. So today it is pay per use. It will continue to remain that to enable B2C growth. But we will also start a subscription model because there is a lot of immensely useful content that we have on the platform. So people will have access to some of this content and the learning programs through a premium subscription.
So in this 100 crores, how much would come from B2C and how much would come from organization, corporates?
As of now, Gopal Krishnan, it is currently 60% comes from B2B, 40% from B2C. With our vision and the kind of enhancements from products and services that we are doing and we plan to do, we believe in the coming years, it is going to grow more towards B2C and it will taper in B2B, but B2B will always exist.
So maybe like a 70-30 with 70 skewed towards B2B, B2C. So more of it, majority will come from B2C and less from B2B.
Okay.
Thank you, judges. Hope there is no more questions here. Thank you, Uma. Thank you, Mahua.
Thanks a lot,
thank
everybody.
Right.
Thank you.
So we will move on to the next pitch. We are already running late on our schedule. So I would like to invite Ms. Hanan from Akian to have her pitch. Hanan, please raise your hand so that we can move into your main stage. Arya, please allow Hanan to the main stage. Arya, could you please confirm if she has joined?
Yes, Rasik. Hanan is on the stage.
I thought it was my internet problem. Hanan, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Please share your...
Hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's quickly get started. Okay. Hi everyone, myself Hanan. I'm the founder and CEO of Hikin. Hikin is India's first post-quantum security startup. We've recently raised a 120K in seed round from the New York State government and NextCorps, and we were part of Google Developers Launchpad and GeoGenX. Let's quickly dive into the problem.
Nearly 1 million people die every year from counterfeit drugs. Hikin provides the most user-friendly anti-counterfeiting solution to meet the engineering challenges of tomorrow. Our systems can tag wide variety of products and can be used by both manufacturers and investigators to instantly verify the authenticity of drugs. The manufacturer who implement Hikin's anti-counterfeiting solution can store the physically unclonable information of each item at the supply chain. This will ensure product safety and efficiency. Our team has created a technique called SID, which is a secure identification using quantum randomness and optical imaging. Quantum random number generator computes the unpredictable behavior of photons that makes true randomness. Along with the optical scanner, it reduces the physically unclonable function of each units. pharma manufacturers, the hospitals, and even the end users can make use of our technology.
As you see, the advances in the technology makes it easier than ever for them to duplicate or to destroy the traditional anti-counterfeiting technologies such as RFID nanomaterials. And according to WHO, counterfeiting costs the pharma industry $75 billion a year, and 1 million people die every year from the counterfeit drugs. So unlike the RFID or NFC, which use a tag or sticker, Hekeen does not use any kind of sticker or tag. For example, let's say we take an image of twins, and with your fingerprint, if one of them claims to be the other, we still have a fingerprint to authenticate the identity of that person. Now let's see quickly how this technology works. So the manufacturer is equipped with a quality check conveyor belt where the product actually moves to the batches, and then our optical imaging device will be fixed to take the microscopic images of that product. And this imaging device creates a physically unclonable function, which is a fingerprint in this case, of the product, and then stores it in the cloud. And using a handheld scanner, an investigator can verify the authenticity of drugs in a matter of milliseconds. And this is me doing the scanning here. An audio notification will be played to know whether the product was fake or not. So this is a customer pain. Law enforcement agencies, hospitals, or pharmacies, OEMs can make use of this technology. It's very hard to detect the instantaneous screen quality of the drugs at port, and this is what we're solving. So this is a product, and it's a patent pending technology. So we have created the imaging device and the handheld scanner, started the R&D in June 2018, massive optical bench experiment, which we have miniaturized, put it into this box, incorporated the company in January 2020, raised 120K in seed round, and now we are in the month 9, and we're currently based out of Bangalore, and it's got an early validation for this. So this is a trend, as you can see. There's a surge in the counterfeit goods during the pandemic, which results in a hike of authentication protection. So this is a market size. 10 to 15% of the pharma market is something which has been estimated from the fake medicines. As you can see, why companies like TrueTag, Nanotech provide brand protection, fabricated silica for the security authentication. Our uniqueness comes from our capability to provide a technology to scan and verify any type of products at any point by completely avoiding standard traditionalization procedures. This is the revenue model. We have an API integration as well as a hardware, which is 1/5 of the cost. Sales pipeline, we've got early validation from the industry experts. This is our team. Myself, I was a former COO at TackBit, a cybersecurity startup, and has 4 years of experience working in quantum cryptography protocols. Mr. Firag, he's the product engineer and the CTO. Siddharth comes with 4 years of experience in quantum machine learning. Ibrahim has 30 years of experience in supply chain operation and former director of supply chain and planning at US Pharma Lab. This is funding. We already raised 120K safe note. Funding required for the next 18 months would be 750K, which we'll be raising in Q2 of 2021. There's a product roadmap. Like I said, started the R&D in 2018. We've completed the pilot, and we'll have a commercial device ready by the Q4 of this year. That's a summary where Hekeen, we provide anti-counterfeiting systems to enterprises to protect their products from counterfeiters and increase 15% in profits. Thank you.
Thanks, Hanan. Please have your questions.
Just a quick question. So is your product in the market, or it is yet to be released?
No, so we have early validation now. This is being tested at an optics lab in Nexcorps, and also at and also with a channel partner. So it's not yet live.
So if you take
only
India,
the testing is being done. Yeah.
If you take India as a base, who would be your first 5 customers?
So we will initially work with 4 to 5 mid-sized pharma companies before we start working with a big pharma. So once we have established a channel presence, we'll have someone like Trace like Mumbai, which has, they've commissioned more than 13.8 bill serial numbers for prescription drug products entering the supply chain.
Yeah, so my question was more leading to whether they have been involved in this product creation.
Nope. But our advisor, he has previously worked on a similar project at Pfizer, a serialization project with Pfizer. So that's where we're getting all the early validation done.
Anand, this is Rahul. I just had a question on whether you're looking at international markets first or you're looking at India as a potential market as well.
So yeah, we are currently based out of in Bangalore, Rahul, although we have incorporated this company and done most of the testing in Rochester lab in New York. So for definitely for entering, to working with mid-size pharma companies, we are looking at India and US as well. That's correct.
And can you shed some light on your customer persona?
Sure.
And how many of these have you actually contacted and gotten feedback from?
Yeah, so we have reached out to a lot of mid-sized pharma companies based out of New Jersey, and we have also demoed our solution to them. And one such company has mentioned the lens calibration, which we are solving in milliseconds, is actually a big problem, which they have not been able to solve yet. This was a leading anti-counterfeiting firm based in New Jersey. So that's something which we are targeting. And then we have contacted around 10 mid-sized pharma companies. So we are still yet to reach out to FDA and the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. But that is one persona that we have.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Hanu, what is the revenue channel going forward? You have plans to adopt, and I understand you sort of the companies at a very early stage, but going forward, do you also see will there be an additional offerings like track and trace solution and data collection or customer engagement going to be provided to these brands? Because I'm not sure what basically you are going to charge from your brands, per product or per billing. How's that going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. So our sales and marketing strategy, there'll be two channels. One is a direct sales, wherein we'll be showing about the saving or effectiveness. So the company size would be somewhere around 30 mil to 500 mil. And our target audience would be somewhere around the chief supply chain officer. So this would take around, say, 5 to 6 months. But then we do have another channel partner. If we have established a channel partner, then the sales cycle can be limited to somewhere around 1 months. So here I'm just talking about the hardware model, where we'll be pricing for the hardware model. But down on the line, and in order to scale this up, we will definitely be having an API integration. So that's the only way that we can scale up as a platform. Initially, we just wanted to test this out with these pharma companies. So that's why we are pricing it on the hardware for now.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Sure. Any questions?
Thank you, Sukriti.
I have just one more quick question if you have time, Razik. So I just wanted to understand from Hanan, do you have an idea of where the counterfeiting is happening in the supply chain?
Yeah, so starting right from the product that enters the market, it could be somewhere like a new vaccine, or maybe in the existing one, it would be when the manufacturer goes to that, the distributor channel. In that whole process is where we can actually stop it right from it enters that market, right from the point one. Maybe I can just quickly show you here where we are. Yeah, right from the manufacturer to the the wholesaler to the distributor and then to the consumer. So that entire channel would be protected. So we see that there will be a 5-step procedure where they could actually enter.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Rahul. Hope we don't have other questions here. Thank you, Hanan. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
So I would like now to invite Nisari, founder of Her Money Talks, to the main stage. Nisari, could you please raise your hand so that Arya can, yeah, she has raised hand. Arya, please shift her to the main stage. Hello, Nisari.
Asik.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Yeah. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nisari Mahesh. My venture is Her Money Talks, which is a one-stop financial platform for women. It is a fact that women represent world's largest and fastest growing market, yet they remain overlooked and underserved in the financial industry. We are trying to bring about a new paradigm for women's financial experiences. There are around 300 million women in India who have not adopted the basic financial products. The reasons are many, like lower financial awareness, confidence, the risk-averse nature of women, and lesser access. So we are creating a platform, a digital platform, where our members, women, can learn about finance, they can learn from each other, they can make guided purchase of financial services and products from the platform. So our platform is a one-stop shop where we collaborate with financial institutions and experts to offer curated financial products like insurance, investments, and loans, and digital financial education like informative and interactive content, a lot of tools like news, stories, and lot. And we promote digital financial education through our platform, and a lot of personalized services like one-to-one consultations and tools, forums for peer networking, and our platform will be backed by AI to understand user habits, preferences, pain points, and which will help us to come up with customized solutions for the distinct needs and preferences of women. The total available market in India is 1 lakh crore, and the serviceable obtainable market is 270 crore in 5 years. What makes us sustainable and unbiased is that there are 6 revenue channels for us to leverage on. The first 3 are B2B and the rest are B2C. So when it comes to B2B, it is the content partnerships, like we undertake turnkey, educative, and research-based content projects for financial product partners. And we are also part of national financial education programs like the RBI NSFE mandate and financial advisory services. And of course, it includes advertisements, sponsored programs, CSR funds, like co-branded digital campaigns, and a lot of that. Coming to the B2C models, it is, of course, from the sales of the financial products, the annual membership fee, and the commission from the retail partners. We acquire customers mainly through 4 channels. We have B2B tie-ups with other women platforms, corporate, startup platforms, colleges, etc. We do plug-and-play approach to various government schemes like RBI NSFE 2025 mandate and other financial education programs. We also involve in low-burn ATL marketing like social media. And we, of course, believe in the power of word of mouth, and we are creating women-led circles in different parts of the country in tie-up with other organizations.
2 minutes left.
Coming to the market validation, currently we have 25,000 users on the platform and 18 lakhs B2B revenue in the first year. And we are also part of, when validated by Goldman Sachs and part of Kerala Startup Mission, NASSCOM, Zone Startups, and more. Coming to the business roadmap, year 1, we were targeting on creating brand awareness and evangelizing the concept. And we are focusing the young working women and women entrepreneurs, which is the easy target. And we are still continuing the financial literacy programs. And end of this year, we are expecting to launch our digital platform and premium paid membership model as well. Coming years, we are looking forward the entry into all 3 tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities, and aiming for a community growth of 3.75 lakhs by 2022. Currently, we are looking for funding and expect the funding requirement is 50 lakhs, and we are expecting 3x year-on-year revenue growth and expected 12 lakhs community growth in the 2 years. Introducing the team, I'm Nisari. I'm an IIM Bangalore alumnus and a former banker with 18 years of experience in banking, content, and branding. My co-founder is Hemant, is a IIM Calcutta alumnus, business strategy professional, and ex-IBMer and Genpact with over 22 years of experience. And investing in women's economic empowerment is a direct path towards gender equality, inclusive economic growth. and with COVID-19 has accelerated the evolution of digitization of financial sector, we believe financial institutions can leverage us to tap the larger segment of women. So please do support us in this initiative. Thank you, and I'm open for questions.
Thanks, Nesri, for the presentation. If you can, throw some light on the impact metrics number. You mentioned like you will be targeting these tier 2, tier 3 cities, women, and you'll sort of provide training. So how basically, that will empower, and if you can just help me understand that.
The impact is like the financial awareness or education is lacking. That is one of the main problem women facing, because they are not aware what is happening. Like maybe their husbands are managing or their father are managing the finances. They are not aware whether an account is existing or not, how to plan their future, or some uncertainty, like all on a sudden they become alone in their life, like they become single, what to do. And they are actually getting duped at various places. So we believe that literacy is the first step. Awareness is the first step, and building confidence is the next step. So unfortunately, finance, we would like to call it a life skill, but unfortunately, it is not part of our curriculum, either in schools or colleges or anywhere. Now, it is good that the government is recognizing that, and the RBI has come up with the NSFE strategy, which is expected to have financial literacy in schools, colleges, and that inclusion by 2025. We see a lot of opportunity collaborating with that. And again, for the mass scale up, providing that like literacy programs in a digitized model. Because now with COVID, digitization, it's everywhere. It's picking up. People know that earlier we were doing it offline, but now we see a lot of scope, like we can create custom content and distribute it for like various forums, schools, colleges, and impart that habit among women, which helps a lot in the coming years to make them confident, to make them take independent decisions and all.
Okay. And if you say this fee-based membership, who is going to bond this cost? Is it the woman?
Yeah, now the platform is free, like we are offering free memberships for all, but going ahead, there will be two variants, like one will be a free membership and other is the paid one. So paid one is that people who, it's the urban women who would like to, improve their skills, who would like to leverage the platform for further continuing the financial education and make informed decisions, who want to, be in that peer group, who want to leverage the platform for their further financial goal setting and all, so they can opt for a paid membership model with us.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Nisari. Is any of the other judges have any questions?
So I have one question,
please,
Rahul here. So I just wanted to understand when you have this paid membership, what kind of services are you offering? Are you offering actual financial service advisory services, or is it more just content and learning that someone is paying for?
Yeah, if someone is a paid member on our platform, first benefit is that they get a lot of premium content for their skill building. Premium content, it includes not just reading material, a lot of interactive content and all. Second is that, they get preferential rates, at least with some of the product partners, which we have in tie-up with. For example, if they are going for a loan, some kind of concession like a 0.25% of interest rate fee or a processing fee waiver of that kind of benefits they get when they are an onboarded member of Harmony Talks. The third is that they can leverage the platform for peer-to-peer networking. For example, if it is a women entrepreneur, they can make use of the platform for network and benefit from that for promoting their business or, get more visibility. And the fourth is that there will be some kind of reward partners on our platform, like whether it is retail or business related, which they can get that. They can add that points each time they transact on a platform, which in the longer run will be helpful for them to, it's kind of nudging them for making more use of the platform, at the same time some benefits for them.
Okay, so you have no current plans of including brokerage in this, right?
Brokerage will be there. That's why we are not, we are not following a fee-based advisory here, because currently, the mutual funds is not launched. But when the platform is launched, there will be brokerages. One of our revenue stream is commission from the sales of financial products. But there is a regulatory thing that you cannot get brokerage at the same time provide paid advisory. So we are bifurcating that. Advisory is almost part of it, because the core is that education or information helping them to make guided purchase of financial products. So, I mean, it's free advisory for financial purchase they are getting from the platform. But there are other consultations, like, for example, a women entrepreneur who's looking for a business scale up, or somebody who wants a debt restructuring, very personalized consultations. This will be paid one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. I hope we can move on to the next pitch. Thank you so much, Nisri. Thanks for your time. I would like to invite Infinite Circle now. The founder is Ms. Divya. Divya, could you please raise your hands? Yeah, she has joined. Arya, please allow her to the main stage. Hi, Divya.
Hi, Rasik.
Hi. Please share your screen.
Yeah, just. Good morning, everyone. I am Divya and I represent Infinite Circle Inc. So have you ever thought of what happens to your waste? So the recyclable material which gets into the dustbin, does it actually get recycled? So what happens is 91% of the world's plastic ends up in landfill or ocean, and it does not at all recycle. So if you dig deeper into this matter, there are about 8 million tons of plastic which ends up in the ocean body. So what we are looking at providing is circular solutions and how efficiently this waste can be transformed into valuable products. So we are a SaaS-based circular waste transformation platform. And what happens here is the complete ecosystem, the supply chain is broken, and that is the reason it does not make any financial sense for most of the stakeholders, that is a collection person or a recycler or an MRF in the complete ecosystem, to make sure that these materials are recycled. So when there is no financial benefits, so end of the day, these waste just ends up in landfill. Even though the waste is managed efficiently, there is no process in place to transform the waste so that the brands can buy back these materials. So the solution that we are offering today is we have built a command center wherein all the stakeholders, that is the brands, recyclers, upcyclers, the logistics partners, all of these guys are present on the single platform and managing the waste efficiently. And not just that, the waste is also transformed into valuable products. So currently our partners are making 70+ innovative products out of the waste that we collect from the market. So what is the end goal? So our vision is any kind of waste anywhere across the globe should be collected within 30 minutes of time. So that's the end goal and the vision that we have. And we have built this platform so that we provide 100% traceability and transparency to the brands that we are working with, and also make sure that we provide them the recycled raw materials, which is of high quality and consistent. So these are different kinds of products that we have developed out of the waste that has been collected from the market. So is that good enough opportunity out in the market to address this problem? Yes, of course. So there are about $4.8 trillion market size that is available, but we are looking at the global area here, and it's only US and India. And the serviceable market that we are looking at is only $50 billion. And out of this, we have figured out it's the CPG, food and beverage and pharma industries who are the major players who are producing these kinds of waste. And the obtainable market is about $750 million. So how is the revenue coming for us? So the revenue generating is like 80% comes from the brands and then the 20% from the backend. That's the Waste Warriors, the process and the logistics partners that we have onboarded. So the 80% of the revenue, majority of which comes from the SaaS platform. That's because this is a subscription base and we have a healthy margin of 60 to 70%. Also, alongside that, we are providing a waste management service to the brands, and that is giving us an additional revenue of 20 to 20%. And we also supply raw materials to them through our partner network. So that is giving us 10 to 20% of margin. So, and also on the back end, we have a very small cut of about 1 to 3% per transaction. Yeah. So we have the current traction of about $435K, which is ARR for us. And the major brands like Colgate, Godrej, Pepsi, Nivea, they are major players who have tied up with us and who have already validated our idea. So next we have these Waste Warriors. We have about 5,000 plus recyclers, 150 upcyclers, and we have impacted 7,000 plus bottom of the pyramid people who are usually neglected in the ecosystem, but we have made sure that the lives of these people are improving day by day. So the biggest victory for us is humanizing waste management through technology. So how is our competitive landscape? So we have compared our company with Rubicon and TerraCycle in the US and Recycle and Sahas from India. So the way we stand out is we provide end-to-end traceability of the waste stream for the brands, and not just that, provide raw materials consistently to them so that they can make new products out of that. We are very asset light and scalable globally. So the core team, it's Vishnu and myself, and we have co-founded CircleX. We have an experience about 5 years in the waste management space. We already have run other company, which is into paper and textile recycling, and we have a very good knowledge on this space, and that gave birth to CircleX, and we felt technology is the way forward to solve this waste problem. So board of advisors, we have quite a good range of board of advisors from different spectrum. So we have Rahul Pudar from India, who's the leading person and who owns Shakti Plastics. We have Masi Bucci from the US, who has an amazing sales experience. We have Tina and Sneha, who are part of AB and Bev, Coca-Cola, P&G, who have a good market knowledge and who can help us scale this globally. So ask is 500K, and why are we asking this is to enable our tech stack built much higher, and 40% of the money would be going into building the tech stack. We are looking at scaling this to different regions. So sales and marketing will be spending 30%, and we'll be onboarding more and more recyclers and upcyclers when we are scaling this up. So 20% of the fund would be going to the backend. And of course, we would be looking at building innovative products, and 10% of the fund would be going to the product innovation. So with this 500K, we would be impacting 10,000 plus lives. That's about it, and I would like to play a small video.
Plastic pandemic is real. 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the oceans every single year. We get together to collect ocean-bound plastic bottles, clean it, shred it, extrude it to form threads, and knit it into something that we wear every day. And what if you can see the people who made the t-shirt possible? In the palm of your hand, we are creating a revolution.
So this is what happens to the waste that you throw in the bin. That's about it. Thank you so much, and I'm open for questions now.
Thank you, Shilpa. Just please have your questions.
Hi there. Hi.
Hi, Virginia.
Here. Can you share with me a little bit more about the technology product itself, and a little bit more about the SKUs as well? I wasn't quite clear about what the user journey is actually like. And also is the platform then available to the end consumer, like the B2C consumer, or is this really serving sort of B2Bs and like I don't really understand what the technology actually does. Like how do you guys onboard the recyclers? Maybe you can share you can share how this works. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. The way this works, and we are only focusing on B2B, so we directly work with the brands globally, and the technology that we have built is a way where a brand from a factory, it could be factory waste and office waste, or the waste that needs to be collected from the market. So we have something called as EPR, that is extended producer responsibilities, where brand is supposed to take responsibility of the waste that they are generating. So once the waste is ending up in the market, they are supposed to collect the waste back. So that's the governmental rule. So these are the three things that we are focusing on. And if, say, for example, there is a factory waste, and let me just take a real-time example of Mondelez itself. So they have a factory waste, and what they would do is, after 4 to 5 tons, they don't have enough space in their warehouse to store that waste. So they will be raising a pickup request on the command center that we have. And within 30 minutes of the pickup request raised, our partner, that is a recycler, would go to that factory and pick up the waste. And this is sent to a processor or a recycler to recycle the waste. And then it is converted into a value added product. So that is the waste life cycle. That is the stream that we are actually handling today. And now, say, for example, if the market waste has to be collected, so we have different zones. Now, in India itself, we have north, south, east, and west different zones where multiple recyclers are present in these parts of the country. So we have onboarded them. The way we have onboarded them is through cold calling, through email marketing, and we haven't spent any money on bringing them on board. And the way we had, and it's like they're all vetted, so they're all verified from Circle X. So once we get in touch with them, we understand, we do their background check, and we understand what is the capacity of the waste that they can actually handle, and do they have their own logistics. So once we understand all of these things, we bring them on board, we sign a contract with them. And once they are on the platform, we know that this particular recycle is capable enough to handle this particular type of waste from the market. And then we assign it to them, to that particular recycler, and then we take on this process.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying is that you help these, I'm still a little bit confused, because like, let's say you take on all these like trash collectors, or you can call them recyclers, right? But how do you know that the trash you're picking up is the trash of that particular company?
Okay, so when it has to be collected from the market. So what happens is the government has the rule that it need not be very specific to the brand. Now, if I'm representing Godrej, and it is not necessary that my recycler has to go and collect only the waste from the Godrej. So I can collect that particular type of waste. It could be from any other brand. But the end goal is that I collect LDP or a HDP waste or an MLP waste from the market. And I have to showcase it that this is the waste that I have collected, and so much ton of waste has been collected from the market. So the government is not bothered if it is very specific to that particular brand.
Got it. And two questions for you. How do you incentivize these trash pickers? And second of all, like what is your business model when it comes to serving the B2Bs? And maybe you can explain to me how that, because I mean, I don't understand, I'm not familiar with the Indian regulation. Okay. So maybe you can share first, how do you incentivize these pickers? How do you, these waste warriors, so to speak, and then what's the model with B2B? Yeah.
Yeah. So the way we are intensifying these guys, the recyclers, is first thing is that we are giving them continuous business, because we are tying up with the brands. So the majority of the waste generation people are the brands. So through brands, we are giving them continuous business. So one thing is they get access to continuous business, and also their revenue is increasing day by day.
Wait. Yes. What do you mean they get access to continuous business? I don't understand.
That is like, the waste, like if it is a paper waste or a certain type of plastic waste, if it is an LDP or an HDP waste, it always carries an inherent value in it. That means in India, we pay money to take the waste away from the brand. So that means that the recyclers are getting continuous business. They are procuring waste through us, from a brand, which is in higher volumes, and they get continuous business out of this, and they make a lot more revenue year on year. That is one thing. And the other thing is that we also help them in terms of building new technologies, in terms of providing them automatic sorting systems in place. Actually, we tie up with the other people who are building up new technologies for automatic sorting, so that it helps or makes these recyclers' life much simpler, because sorting and segregation is a huge challenge globally, and even in India, the recyclers do not have enough technology in place so that the waste is sorted out efficiently and processed later.
Okay, so and then you charge them a commission for giving them all this business. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. We charge a small commission for giving business to them.
And 20% of revenues, what is that? Okay, so they just constitute 20% of revenues. Okay, and then with brands, you just charge them please tell me.
Yeah, we charge them the for the platform. We charge them. It's a month on month, so that it's on a subscription basis, and it's like we provide our application like. We are in fact tied up with SAP EHS, wherein what SAP figured out is our application is good enough for them to integrate with their EHS platform, because they do not have solution currently available for the waste management and waste transformation. So our solution fits right to that platform, and they want to tie up with us so that they can give this on a subscription basis for the brands. Not just that, also if there is a certain waste stream, the brands are not aware, because they have to attain their sustainability goals, like 2025 goals and 2030 goals they have already set in place, and they do not know how to attain their sustainability goals. So that what we do is we help them give solutions and say that this particular waste could be processed in such a manner that they could also make innovative products out of those, and again, bring it back into their supply chain. Now, say for example, I'll take an example of Godrej. So Godrej wants to make all-out bottles. So currently the all-out bottles that they have, right? So it ends up in the market. So now they want to do bottle-to-bottle concept. That is, they want to collect all their all-out bottles from the market, palletize it, and make a new bottle out of those raw materials. So what we do is we make sure that these all-out bottles are processed, and we give them the high quality, consistent supply of these raw materials, what we call it as pellets, back to the Godrej. So in their manufacturing center, they use these pellets to make new all-out bottles.
So doesn't that make you not so asset light, since that you have to do all these back-end manufacturing processes, or you just outsource this to a third party?
Yeah, so we outsource this to a third party. Like even on the advisory board, if you see, we have Shakti Plastics. It's like we in fact tie up with the market leaders, and we outsource it to them, so that we get consistent supply of these raw materials. So we do not have any infrastructure or manufacturing center in place, and that's the reason I mentioned as we are very asset light and scalable.
Okay, and just one final thing, you mentioned that India brought in some new regulation, which is to comply with. Can you share a little bit more about that?
So EPR is a regulation from India. So it's according to the 2016 governmental rule that the Pollution Control Board, that the brands who are producing plastic waste are supposed to collect the waste from the market. Like say, for example, I am producing 1 ton of waste, and I have to take back 40% of it. 40% of the waste that I am generating, I should be collecting it back from the market and process it in my center. So what happens today is, this is a cost to the corporate. It's a cost to the company, and the company has to shell out money to take the waste out from the market, which most of the brands would not like to do, when it is the money that they have to shell out from their profit. So what we have introduced is, we have introduced first time in India that we are offering something called circular EPR. That means we would be handling EPR at certain cost for a particular brand, and we would be collecting waste from the market. Alongside that, we would be also providing, doing an offset of 20% to 30%. That means if you are a brand and you're spending 1 crore and on the waste that needs to be collected from the market, we would be offsetting 20%, that is 20 lakhs, 30 lakh rupee worth products. We will be supplying it back to the brands. That means we will be procuring that waste, processing it, converting it into a product, and we will be supplying these products back to the brands, which in return they can use it for their internal purpose or for their CSR activities or whatever it could be. But we will be providing products to them, and we will offset. That means we are also saving cost for the brands. So this is a regulation for multiple countries, and this is not just the regulation only in India.
Other questions? Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, you said your revenue is 400K, right? That's approximately 3 crores.
Yes, yes.
Annual revenue.
Yeah.
And how much of that is coming directly from the brands?
So the majority of this is directly coming from the brands. It's about 80%. We have already signed contract of about 185, and the remaining revenue, it's the pilot that we are running already. So out of this, if you see Dr. Reddy's and Mondelez, we have already signed a contract, which is $185. 185K dollars. That is about 1.3.
So these are annual contracts, right?
Yeah, these are annual contracts.
And they will have multiple people like you.
No.
What's your share? For example, what is your share in Dr. Reddy's waste management?
Yeah, so
stream?
in Dr. Reddy's, we are handling only their EPR. So the EPR project for this particular year is taken by Circle X. So there is no other partner there. So it's only
Okay, 100% of Dr. Reddy's.
Yes.
This is the plastic used to pack the drugs, is it?
Yes, yes, yes. These are the plastic which actually ends up in the market, and they are supposed to collect these plastic waste from the market, and that's the EPR. And we are doing a circular EPR for them. And in few days, there will be also coverage on the circular EPR, because they are the first ones alongside Circle X to launch circular EPR in the country.
Okay, just one more example. Let's take Colgate. So what would be your revenue from them, and what would be your market share in Colgate?
So one third is our revenue from them. Like Colgate, we are looking at doing packaging. Like they have these toothbrushes. So this is made out of PP material. So what they want us to do is that, collect these toothbrushes from the market and pelletize it, and make products like park benches or furnitures, things like that, so that they can in fact use this back into their, for their CSR activity, or, for their internal purpose. So end of the day, they want to take away this waste from the market and process it and make some value added products out of that.
Okay.
Divya, I have one quick question. So do you guys also get involved in the processing of the dry and wet waste? And also, is there, just want to understand, like from the industry perspective, like what percentage of entire trash which is collected ultimately will end up in a landfill? Because I think, anyway, while segregation, there is some waste again, which gets generated, and that it's considered to be a waste, right? You cannot recycle it for some reason.
Absolutely. So currently we are focusing only on the dry waste, and we have not got into the wet waste segment. The reason being, dry waste itself is a huge market for us to tackle. And if you see, waste like plastic, paper, and glass, majority of these ends up in landfill today. And like 70% of this would be ending up in landfill. The reason, like say for example, glass waste alone, if I take, it's a single stream recycling. Even in the US, what they tackle, right? So it's all contaminated. The glass, of course, if it's in a very good condition, if it's clean enough, you can pelletize it, or you can make it into cullets and make new glass bottles out of that. But today it's all contaminated, and it's a single stream recycling, which people in the US follow, and most of these raw materials are just wasted. So multi-stream recycling is a way forward, and only through that proper segregation and sorting out this particular waste, we can get high quality raw materials, that is cullets, so that they can make new glass bottles, like brands like AB InBev, Molson Coors. So these brands, of course, they can make new glass bottles out of this, wherein they can also cut down the cost on the energy and also the raw material cost. So that's how the financial benefits is going to be for brands. So which is why we are looking at working with all the complete supply chain, that this collection, recyclers, MRF aggregators, to make sure that we set the system in place first to manage the waste and then to transform this particular waste stream.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, is there any other questions for me?
I think there are no other questions. We are very late on the schedule. Divya, I'm sorry if I called you wrongly previously. I think I called you another name.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for pitching here. I would now like to invite the next startup.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all.
Okay. I would like to invite Anupriya from Spookfish Innovations. Anupriya, please raise your hands. Arya will allow you to the main stage. Anupriya, you can share the screen and go ahead with the pitch. You have 5 minutes.
Hello, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hi, hi. And are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Sorry, just once again. Got it. Thank you. How about now?
Yeah, it's up and live. You can go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can see me as well, but my name is Anupriya, and I'm the managing director of Spookfish. So here's an interesting fact: about 1 in every 1,000 medicines consumed around the world is defective, and the cause of the defect could be one of various reasons. It could be exposure to humidity due to, a defective seal. It could be contamination by a foreign body during manufacturing, or also a variation in the API concentration. Spookfish is a 5-year-old company. We build computer vision and machine learning technology to protect consumers from these kind of mishaps. No, sorry. Yeah, so what we're trying to solve is to ensure quality inspection, and we put this across several fields, pharmaceutical being the biggest one. 3 of our founders are doctorates in computer vision. We have a lot of other strategic advisors from the field and also business consultants and advisors. We have around 30 people in the company, and being a woman entrepreneur myself, we have a lot of women in our company as well. So one of the use cases that we have and the machines that we deploy is machines to help inspect foreign or broken or any kind of defects in the tablet inspection, called for tablet inspection. This is installed on the packaging line and branded as Marlin. We have another machine called Snipe, which checks and packaging is safe, hereby ensuring that there is no loss of humidity or entrance of humidity into the product itself. And over the number of years, we've built up a lot of IP in computer vision and machine learning. This has been applicable without much customization to other industries as well. And we have machines for currency inspection with coinage. Specifically, we also have fever screening machines and other machines that have helped in the manufacturing sector. So here's some of our client lists, and the revenue model has specifically been a machine sale, which is a component of intelligent cameras and the software and the machine learning behind it, and also the service and support that we cater to. Just to give you an idea of the market size, I mean, we have around 10,000 pharma companies just in India alone. Out of that, approximately 800 could be are MHRA or FDA approved, and each one of these companies would have around 25 packaging lines, be it blister or bottle. And you're thinking about 3 machines that we cater to directly to these lines, be it blister inspection, tablet inspection, or seal inspection. And you get an idea of the market size in India and Europe as well. We have competition, but we've been now well known to the pharma industry, and our biggest USP has been high speed, a lot of optimization, and ensuring that we use machine learning to really help teach new variants very easily to the operators. Our roadmap
2
for
minutes
the company
remaining.
has, yeah, thanks. So the roadmap has been to introduce hyperspectral technology to the industry, where we will be able to also quantitatively ensure the API concentration in drugs, which will help consumers safely consume drugs. And we've had a steady, we've been bootstrapped so far, but we've been growing. We're at a 2x growth rate. However, this year we're going to be growing globally, as well as dabbling into a new R&D venture that we have with hyperspectral technology. And so this is just a fund usage of what we are planning to use the funds for. A large amount of it is R&D, but also global sales. And we've been recognized for some awards. We also have opened up an office in Bristol in the UK, which has been running for over a year. We've recently won an Innovate UK grant as part of Corpus for COVID-19. So that's about it. Thank you so much. Happy to hear any questions, and thanks Kerala Startup Mission for this lovely, opportunity.
Priya, thank you. We can quickly move on to the questions.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Do you have do you have a patent?
Yes, we have 3 patents, and they specifically with simultaneous inspection, and they're related to the technology itself rather than the machine, because these are cross applicable to different platforms.
Okay, and the second question is, you showed many logos, as customers, but your revenues are kind of not corresponding to those many logos.
So we're a little, last year we reached a little over 1 million. So what we did was to initially build the products and get it to the stage. And right now we're at the stage where we have very good customers and references. I think the validation of a well-proven product after a year or year and a half in the pharma cycle especially helps a lot, because then you have a proven product in the field that is then scalable.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. What is your revenue now?
So last year we reached a little less than $1 million.
Okay.
So around 6.5 crores. Yeah.
And that's primarily from the pharmaceutical industry.
And we've been at a 2x growth.
Yeah, that's primarily right. From the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, and
that's right, yeah.
And I'm not able to remember the logos. Who are the top 2 or 3 pharma companies?
So Sun Pharma, Strides, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's. There's some of them.
Okay, so if you take Dr. Reddy's as an example, right? You mentioned the number of lines, number of machines per line, etc. Over the period of time that you have been engaged with them, how many machines you have been able to sell them?
Yeah, so the way the sales cycle works with every new introduction to a pharma company, as soon as you have one product validated, because they don't take the investment for just one machine, one line. They take this technology, and once you have a validated product on the line, we have the case study of Sun Pharma, where once you have proven this for say a year and you've got this running on the line, then you have repeat orders of the same machine for the different packaging lines, and also sites that they have all around India and the world.
Okay.
Thanks, PKG. Do we have any more questions? If not, we can quickly move on to the next pitch. Thank you,
I have one quick question. I just wanted to understand what is the average cost of this each one of these machines, and how do you expect to see it scaling over time? So if you're saying that they will evaluate it for a period of a year, and then I guess there'll be a multiplier effect over there, that once they're happy with it, then they'll place an order. So If you can just talk briefly about that. So I want to get a sense of, how you would scale over the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, so the typical sales cycle for the first machine in a first, a new account, let's say Cipla, would be around 14 months. So the first machine has a longer sales cycle, but once that is done and validated and running in production for some number of months to a year, then the repeat order is a 3-month cycle. I don't know if that answers the question.
And so what is the cost of the first cycle?
Yeah,
the first machine, approximately?
It depends on the machine. So each machine would have different configurations. So you have a 60 BPM line, a 120 BPM line, a faster line, and then you have configurations of the number of cameras that fit onto a 60 bottles per minute line, and then that would get basically duplicated for a 120 BPM line. So it can vary anywhere between 30 lakhs to 1.5 crores for each Spookfish machine that we have in the range of the machines that we cater to. So so this is a seal inspection machine, and then you have different types of tablet inspection machines for the different packaging lines.
Okay. No, I guess I'm also having the same question that that some of the other judges had here, is that if you look at the traction that you seem to have with some of the pharma companies, your revenues don't seem to be matching with that.
Yeah. So to briefly tell you about our journey, so we actually the first 3 years of the company. Let me just. Have been about building up Spookfish's IP with a lot of other different companies. So we've been fortunate to be associated with Samsung, ABB. But then after building up common IP in computer vision and machine learning, we entered into the pharma industry around 3 years ago. That's when we decided to productize what we are catering and ensure that that has scalability as well, so that the investment towards a product that we are building and the investment towards the computer vision aspect is a one-time effort, and then we see products that will enter into the market depending on the scale. So the first, so the first 3 years were primarily with other customers and other segments, but we realized that is too much customization, but we learned something and we built some IP around things that we wanted to do and build.
Great. Thank you, Anupriya.
Thank you, Anupriya. Thanks for your time. I think
Thank you.
We have closed the questions. I mean, in the rest of time, we can move ahead to the next speech. Thank you so much for your time. Now, I would
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Stack Finance, Ms. Smriti, founder of Stack Finance, to the main stage. Idea, you could allow her. She has already raised her hands on the participant. Smriti, you can share the screen and go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
It was live, then it was remote. Yeah, I can see the pitch. You can make it to the presentation view.
Yeah, just a second. कर क्या रही हूँ? Second. Hi, is the deck visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for the inconvenience. All right, thank you. Thank you everybody for joining. I am Smriti, founder and CEO at Stack. This is Tushar. He handles business development at Stack Finance. So I'll start with the deck first. Stack is basically a fintech product into personal finance. It helps millennials to manage, control, and grow their money effortlessly in one place. Millennials right now are facing the scariest financial future of all generations, owing to the Great Recession, mounting debt, and the recent COVID crisis. Zooming into India, which is the land of millennials, it hasn't really adapted to the financial needs of this massive population. What's even worse is that these millennials don't know how to manage money. Things like budgeting, savings, insurance, investments are more often than not a question mark. Delving deeper into this problem, the affluent and the mass affluent segment in India have various solutions like wealth managers, advisors. But when it comes to mass market, people are usually left with numerous fragmented and confusing solutions in various verticals like investing, banking, payments, and so on. And as a result, millennials are usually misinformed and confused because they don't have a single integrated platform for all their needs. There's no personalization because advisory is extremely expensive and time taking. More importantly, no product focuses on the financial health of the users in a comprehensive way. And as a result, we end up using 10 plus financial touch points, which not only is an inconvenience, but also breaks the financial overview for the users. But no more, we are on a mission to help millennials manage, grow, and control their money effortlessly in one place. And on this mission, we are backed by a number of marquee investors, including SOSV, the second most active VC from US. There's Triple IT Hyderabad Seed Fund, AngelList, Vedanshu from US, various prominent angels like CEO and founder of Alenco, and so on. We also have our own ecosystem of various partners who help us realize this product, including some leading banks like ICICI, brokers like Zerodha, Upstocks. We also directly work with BSE and NPCI. And of course, a stellar 17-member team with over 50 years of combined experience in technology and finance. I'm Smriti, I'm the founder and CEO. I graduated as an engineer from NIT Bhopal, have then worked with Citibank, mostly in credit cards and risk management side. Been recognized in India as well as internationally for my efforts and contribution towards fintech industry. Vidit is the COO. He's an MBA from Ivindor, pursued CFA and ex-founder of fintech himself. There's Yash. He is the Chief Product Officer, takes care of technology and product development.
And Tushar this side, I have been in serial entrepreneur, built a profitable venture before, got more than 3 patents granted and was awarded by President as well through Startup National Award.
And also some amazing advisors like William, general partner at SOSV, Ajit, Anand, who've been founders themselves of some various prominent organizations. Together, we share the same passion to build a product so that millennials don't have to waste the time anymore. It's a best of all apps in one single platform. So basically, through Stack, you can essentially get a bird's eye view of your entire financial life. You can link all your accounts, track your financial footprint, and get intelligent insights on the same. We also have some unique features like expert stacks for automated investments, short-term goals through saving pods. You can also directly track your bills and pay them from this app. There's also Stack Score, which keeps a check on your financial lifestyle and your decisions. We've made a huge progress in leaps and bounds. We are recognized as top 30 startups, buying 42 to watch out for. We have more than 12,000 users who've been waitlisted. We work with 3 banks, 5 brokers, 10 plus AMCs, and have also filed a patent for our algorithm at Stack. Been recognized by various prominent organizations like recently by FinTech Finance, the leading industry magazine in UK, by Hong Kong Science and Technology Park as top 100 startups globally, by Tinder as top 10 women-led startups in India. Currently, we're raising a pre-series A round of worth $1 million to expand our top of the funnel user base and achieve an exponential growth. Right now, it's a unique moment in the history of Indian financial system owing to the great technology revolution and open banking frameworks, and we are set to take opportunity of the same. So this is a 5-year plan. Essentially, we're working on 3 important domains. First, to integrate more features and products on the app. Second, to work on educational content to create more financial awareness among various Indian user base, and also to tap into various untapped markets like inclusion, Gen Z, and so on. Thank you, Stat. I'm now open to any questions, if any.
Just please have your questions. If we don't have any questions, we can move on to the next pitch. There are two.
I'll have a couple of questions. So what's your current revenue and traction?
Yeah, just a second.
So basically, we are at a freemium model right now. So we have the current user base who are tracking their finances onto the platform. We have about 2 million US dollars, which is being tracked by them. So that is in the terms of amount which is being managed onto the platform. And right now it is a private user base which we have given access to for the platform, and it is about 1,000 users. And we will be continuing it for another 1 to 2 months before opening it for everyone.
I have a question. How do you guys position yourself against your competition? You know, again, what is your value proposition? You know, what makes you different from your competition? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So currently in the Indian fintech market is itself, there are a number of marketplaces into various verticals like mutual funds, wallets, expense management, etc. But there's not a single platform that focuses on personal finance management as a whole, more so entirely dedicated for millennials. And this is exactly our positioning and as well as the value proposition. Right now, the closest competitors that we have is ET Money in India, but there are various successful use cases in US, for example, Personal Capital, Mint, Stash, which really inspire us and we look out for. Besides, I think the technology that we're working on, which is extremely customized and automated for millennials, is what will help us make a mark in the future and help us to stand out as well. Other thing that we have incorporated and which nobody really focuses on is actually leveraging community onto a product itself. So we have a Stack Circle where basically you can add your friends and family, you can settle your expenses, split bills with them, you can share your goals with them and save together, and also talk to them, share your portfolio. So I think that is one thing that also makes us stand apart and helps users to inculcate a sense of discipline and also, in a sense, a healthy competition while taking various decisions in their financial life.
And how do you intend to commercialize? Is it commercialized by essentially recommending, open-ended products? So basically, you're not exclusive to any one broker. Yeah.
Sure. So we basically have multiple revenue streams, right from trail income, which is basically the continuous transactions which are happening on the platform. For example, bill payments, equity investments, and things like that. The major chunk of our revenue is coming from the affiliate income in the beginning, and towards 5 or 10 years down the line, will be coming from our own products which we'll be introducing onto the platform. Talking about affiliate income, we enable various activities like opening of brokerage account, savings account, and loan and insurance products from the platform itself. And in the future, we are introducing expert stacks, which are expert portfolios for your long-term goals, as well as a dynamic card for millennial segment where we'll be earning through MDR and advisory fees.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, judges. We can move ahead to the next pitch. Thank you so much, Smriti, for your time.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Ms. Meghna, from founder of Trustin. Arya, please allow Meghna to move on to the main stage. Meghna, please share your screen and go ahead with the pitch.
Yeah, thank you all. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meghna. I'm from Trustin, and I'm just going to share my deck with all of you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you could make it a presentation view.
Yeah.
Okay, up and live. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. As I mentioned, my name is Meghna. I'm the founder and CEO of Trustin. And at Trustin, we've built a SaaS solution for end-to-end Posh implementation. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Our big mission is very simple. We are here to enable workplace safety at scale. And we believe this sense of safety really matters at the workplace, right? Where we spend most of our time and therefore our lives. We're starting out with the Posh implementation, where Posh is the prevention of sexual harassment law. But eventually we want to look at all labor, civil, and service laws to look at fair and effective redressal of all workplace misconduct, not just sexual harassment. The problem we're looking at is a fairly big one. So due to the Posh law, Indian companies have internal committees that are vested with the powers of a civil court, right? And therefore they can take decisions that have a huge amount of legal and economic liability. There is a legal due process to be followed, but there are a lot of white space in the implementation right now. Only about 9% of Indian companies are truly Posh compliant, and that is one side of the problem that we're addressing. On the employee side, there are still a lot of barriers that prevent people from coming forward. So even if I'm aware of my rights, it's still hard for me to access my rights due to things like stigma, retaliation, disclosure being re-traumatizing, right? So those are some aspects where people don't come forward with complaints of sexual harassment. And internal committees that I mentioned earlier that are vested with the powers of the civil court, they also struggle to be effective because members have full-time jobs, and the Posh implementation is a very complex and time-sensitive process, right? So people on internal committees, ethics committees, grievance redressal committees are struggling with various aspects of these legal implementation. This is where Trustin comes in. So there are a few steps for basic legal compliance for Posh, right? There are a lot of services that are engaged here. And we provide an umbrella solution that connects people with templates, vetted and verified Posh partners who come in and do services such as training and legal advisory. We've also built a learning management system across our case management system. And the minute a complaint comes in, to adjudicate the complaint, our system takes care of the entire life cycle of deadlines, deliverables, and reporting. So it tells the committee exactly what to do and when, right? So this is what our solution looks like in an overview. So as a complainant, an employee of the company can come in, they can talk to our chatbot, they can record and report their complaint in a time-stamped and trauma-informed manner. It then goes to the internal committee, and then the entire deliverable documentation and deadlines are automated. We call this an adjudication system because it does the thinking for you. We've built in a range of legal scenarios, including edge cases. So now you have 100% compliance 100% of the time, no matter who's on your internal committees. We also generate the case report, annual report, and all other templates that are required for overall compliance. This is what our model looks like. We have two products out in the market. So on the left side, we have the Trustin Enterprise solution that I was just showing you, right? That's for employees and enterprises to take care of the Posh complaints in the entire process. Our go-to-market process is through the Trustin Partner solution, which is our second product. And this enables all the service partners that I was talking about to manage and scale their services. And then they co-sell our enterprise product to their portfolio companies.
2 minutes remaining.
Yeah. This is our traction right now. So we are about 14 months old and we have 11 clients, of which 8 are paying clients. And this is the market that we're looking at. So as I mentioned, this is a civil adjudication process, right? And we're seeing that the legal tech and corporate industries are now moving towards digitization, especially in the time of COVID. And apart from India, in the emerging economies such as Asia and Africa, there are many other countries. Almost 85% of the countries have civil court systems of adjudication. For example, like how India has Posh, Singapore has the POHA, or Prevention of Harassment Act. There's absolutely no tech standardization or support for any of these, and we want to be the first mover in this Asian market. Our value proposition is really, again, risk mitigation, cost savings, and increased efficiency to make sure legal liability, reputational damage, and loss of personnel is no longer a threat to the company, right? And we are the only ones who also support the employees, both the complainant and the respondent of every active case, through a range of support systems such as confidential support dashboards, chatbots, etc., which sets us aside, apart from the competition. Like the complaint escalation systems that are doing very well in the USA and UK, their case management systems, some built especially for Posh, but we're the only ones who are using tech to marry all sides of the equation and also introduce a layer of AI-empowered decision-making. Our business model is a simple one. It's a B2B SaaS, and for companies, there's an annual subscription fee that's based on size. And for our service partners, we offer feature-based pricing. And this is the team. I'm a UC Berkeley grad, and I've worked extensively in the social impact and VC-backed tech accelerator domains. Our tech evangelist, Gyan, she's been a developer, she's an NIT Trichy grad, and she's also a product manager. We are being incubated by AlgoLegal, which is a legal tech startup that's started by the ex-Sequoia General Counsel. And currently we are bootstrapped with the help of grants that we have won across various competitions. And this is what we're looking at. So we currently have developed and deployed 2 products. We're working with a range of organizations and different sizes, but we do want to look at in the next 12 to 18 months, Indian market dominance, as well as 3 to 5 Southeast Asian pilots.
5 minutes are over. Please wrap up.
That's it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Meghna. Now we have the questions from judges.
What has your traction been so far in the market? I assume you're just targeting B2B, right? What has your traction been so far? What has been the company's response to your product?
Right. So Virginia, right now, as I mentioned, we have 11 clients, right? And 10 of them are for the enterprise product. So we've been working mostly with startups that are in the growth stage. So I would say around Series B, Series C is when they see the most value for our product. We've also been working with a range of tech-enabled pan-India nonprofits, such as Teach for India and AkeStep. But we are currently in talks with 8 larger, mid to large enterprises, which have about 25,000 employees or higher. So they are seeing how they can digitize the current system that they have to handle these kinds of grievance redressals. Yeah.
Because essentially this can actually address any kind of grievance process, or any kind of process, actually. It's not just, section. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Who will be the decision maker? Who buys your product in those organizations that you mentioned?
Right.
Who takes the decision?
So I would say it depends on the size. So as I was saying, a lot of tech-enabled nonprofits, startups that are just growing, it's usually the HR head and the founders who make this decision. But as we go to mid to large enterprises, it's mostly between the HR head and the general counsel, who's the final decision maker.
And the contents of the portal or the solution, I mean, is it available for an external investigator?
So each case, there's a timestamp paper trail. We call it a case diary, right? If there's, a time when a case is escalated to civil courts for appeals or any other way, then the decision makers at the companies can download the case diaries and share it. But right now we've built encryption because it's personal sensitive information, right? So that nobody from the outside can access these records. Even Trustin cannot view any of these details.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. If we don't have any other questions, we can move on to the next pitch.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Meghna. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Monica from Stealth AI. Could you please raise your hands? Yeah, Arya has allowed, right. Monica, you can share your screen.
Yeah, sure. Just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you could make it to the presentation.
Okay, cool. Hi all. Last one. I hope you are still awake. So we are probably the youngest company. So we are a 4-month or 5-month-old company based in Singapore, working for Indian market. We are supported by Antler Singapore for the pre-seed round. So we are basically a software for remote patient monitoring once the patient is discharged. So of course, COVID has now remote patient monitoring, everybody knows, but the problem that is happening is, if, for example, for India, we all know the number of, it has probably one of the highest population, but when it comes to number of doctors, that's the lowest. So for example, if I talk about cancer, there are only one is to, for every 7,000 patient, there is only one doctor, whereas recommended is 1 to 1,000. They have very limited time and resources to track patients once they leave the hospital. What happens is that they rely on the patient to come back if they have any severe symptoms. On the other hand, patients have no easy way to manage their disease, and this leads to high readmissions and emergency visits, low bottom line, and poor patient satisfaction for the hospitals. So what we have built, this is inspired from my own experience, what we have built is a AI-powered digital remote patient monitoring platform that basically captures patient information and analyzes it. I'll show you how it works, and that leads to reduced readmissions, improved bottom lines, and high patient satisfaction. So Xealth is essentially a software that can be integrated with hospital EHR or can be used as a standalone software. Once the patient has met the doctor, the patient gets invited onto Xealth. As the patient is ready to leave the hospital, patient stays securely connected with the hospital. Xealth automatically interviews patient using adaptive questionnaire, vitals and symptoms, and analyzes that data using algorithms. And after the analysis, patient receives personalized feedback and instructions for the mild symptoms or what they should be doing next. All the data gets transferred to hospital in the real time. As soon as something is alarming, the hospital is alerted immediately so that they can do the interventions timely. So that's basically how it basically works. Since we just launched our first product for COVID, we were actually working on lung cancer to begin with, but those departments, they were also looking into COVID, and they had extreme large number of COVID people, and they wanted to remotely monitor those. So we quickly built our first product for COVID. We launched that, and we have successfully monitored 550 COVID patients, generating now more than $2,500 in revenue with 70% margins. Our tech was recently featured in Your Story, and we're also one of the top 5 startups in the YC Build Sprint. So that was for the COVID, but of course, we have been working on our cancer product, and we have already we'll be launching it in November and piloting it with Medanta and HCG, and there are few other hospitals, including Asia Columbia, which is not here. That will be once we do the pilot with them early in Q1 of next year. We will go to these other hospitals. Now the main question is, what's new about it? Well, when it comes to remote patient monitoring, there are companies that are basically using sensors or basically capturing the vitals information. But what happens is that when it comes to cancer, there are a lot of toxicities of the treatment. There are a lot of other things. They have to take care of all the blood reports, and that's where we come into the picture, that on one platform we capture all this information, analyze that, do the risk triaging, and alert the hospital when they should be intervening. There are companies in the similar space which are basically in the US, but nobody in this region.
2 minutes remaining.
Okay. Our primary business model is subscription model to hospital, where we basically charge them. This is like the current price of we are still figuring out the exact price, but we charge them the annual fee for a particular number of patients. And also at the same time, we're also raised interest from pharma companies who want to use the platform for monitoring the patients enrolled in clinical trials. We have been in India, we have been talking with Clinera Medical and Pulse Pharma. Needless to say, this is a multi-billion dollar opportunity growing at a CAGR of 13.5. Well, but most important is, how do we plan to capture? Our aim is to become a global company for the digital healthcare, especially for cancer. We are starting with India, and then we'll be, because India market is big, the regulations are relatively less strict. And once we have the data in India, we would use that data to get the CE and FDA. And it's not like for drug, but we do need to get the mark for any software as a medical device. So we would use that data and expand into Europe and US. Do we have the right team? Yes, I have a PhD in immuno-oncology from National University of Singapore School of Medicine. I have also worked with SingHealth, which is basically a cluster of hospitals in Singapore, and then Roche Group here as senior scientist. I've led multiple cancer-related projects in collaboration with Oxford and Harvard. And my co-founder, Dheeraj, he's a graduate from IIT Kharagpur. He has more than 6 years of experience building multiple AI-based softwares. More importantly, last 3 years, he spent building AI-based device for Sictable, which is one of India's leading healthcare company. And he has seen the journey of building the product and passing the regulation and commercially deploying it in multiple labs across the country. And he also has 6 co-patents, and we also have 1 patent for our current technology. The most important part, which we all need, is like the experts, people who are using these products. We want to make something that these people want. We have been very fortunate to have some of the globally renowned oncologists from India, Singapore, as well as US, with a total combined experience of more than 120 years in the field, who have been very helpful for us to basically even go to market. So we raised our pre-seed money from Antler Singapore. We are looking to raise, we'll be starting to raise our seed round of 1 million from December this year. Majority of that would be used for the product development followed by business. And what we aim to achieve by that is, of course, scaling up to more and more cancer hospitals in India, and at the same time using that data to apply for CE and getting the HIPAA compliance, which is very important. We have interest from the hospital in Singapore as well, but we need our product to be HIPAA compliant to use it, to deploy it in Singapore. So that's the first thing we look for, and later on we will expand to other regions. So yeah, that's what Xelthai does. This is like another demo I have, which we can show later.
Thank you, Monica. I mean, do we have questions?
Hi, Monica.
Hi.
Hi, I'm an advisor to Antler as well, so I know the program very well.
Oh, nice.
I have a quick question for you. I want to understand a little bit more about the product, the technology.
Sure. Yeah, actually, because we were patenting that, so I did not put the demo. I can just quickly do a demo. I think that will give a better understanding. So basically, I just have a video. So basically how it works is, once the patient has, let's say once a patient has met the doctor, the patient will be invited onto the platform. So for patient, there is an app that they basically download, and then they would register using their hospital code. And we currently, like, this is for the, I'm showing for the COVID, the cancer one I'm not showing. So there we currently have 8 languages that they can choose from, and then they put all the basic information. So patient don't have to put this, they can just click the picture of the discharge summary and the system will capture the basic information. And sorry. And then after that, they can add their they can just put this medication, if it is on the discharge summary, we capture, but many a times in Indian hospitals, they have handwritten, so they can manually put it. Then they can add any family members that they have. For example, for cancer, generally it's not the patient who's using it, it's like the family members. So I can add, we don't have any limit, I can add as many family members who can use it, or who will be updated on my progress. So once they do that, then basically, once this information is there on everyday basis, the system will send them the reminders about their medication. They can put taken or missed, and also the caregiver will get a message for the patient to take the medicine. And this is important because we use this medication adherence information in our algorithms. Then second is the vitals. We have our system is device agnostic. They can sync with their commonly used medical devices like Apple Health, Samsung Health, whatever. But especially for India, what we learned from our pilot study was many patients don't have a Bluetooth enabled device. What they have is like one oximeter, one BP meter for the entire family. So what we did was we came up with this system where they can just take the reading, click the picture of the instrument, and then the system will capture the reading. Then once that happens, next is the symptoms. So for example, this is for COVID, and for example, for cancer, depending on which treatment they have, there's a certain standard set of symptoms and their intensity. So they basically have to just click those. And then once that happens, then they can also ask anything if they want to ask to the doctor. Once they submit all this information, our system analyzes this medication adherence, vitals, and the patient reported outcomes, which is basically symptoms. And then we analyze that, and then there is a risk score that is our patented algorithm. And once the patient crosses a certain threshold, the patient comes into the high risk. And so that's basically how it works. So high risk and low risk. And then as soon as the patient is at high risk, the hospital is also alerted immediately. So I'll show you how that happens. So for example, this is for the patient, and then based on the symptoms that they have, they get a message like what they should be doing next. And then apart from that, they also get relevant articles. There's this community, other features.
Monica, can we make this offline? I mean,
Sure. Okay.
Is there any other questions from the judges?
Yeah, so I was trying to understand what's the real benefit and for whom.
Yeah, so basically so this is for the hospital. So what happens is, for the hospitals, they get to see as soon as any patient who is at home, what happens for them is they get to see patient who needs attention immediately. So for example, for the dashboard, this dashboard is with the ICU or the 24/7 department. As soon as any patient is alerted, as soon as any patient is at high risk, those hospital will be alerted, and then they can just basically click on the patient number, and they can just call the patient. They can also also go look at all the information that they currently don't have, that is what is happening to the patient. And then they can just look at the patient information longitudinal way. They're all the vitals on a very easy to understand graph form. And then they can also have basically there's this feature that we added recently where there was this patient who needed an attention immediately, and the doctor who was available was a junior doctor. So they wanted a system where the senior doctor can log in from anywhere and guide the junior doctor what to do. So basically it's a one end-to-end platform where patients who are at home, or once they leave the hospital, what is happening to them, that data is captured, is analyzed, and as soon as any patient seems to be at high risk, the hospital is alerted, so they can intervene immediately. So it helps with early interventions, which is most important part. Secondly, what happens is it also saves time for the doctor, because now they have the patient information, everything already, which they otherwise would need to ask the patient, and 60% of time goes in asking this information. Hello.
Yes, is there any other questions, sir?
No, thank you. That's all from me.
So if there are no more questions, we can quickly wrap this up. Thank you, Monica, for your time.
Thank you.
So the pitching session has come to an end, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the audience for your participation. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our judges, Ms. Virginia Tan, Ms. Sukriti, Mr. PKG, Mr. Rahul Savur, for your time and effort. So we will be having a quick call after this meeting as we discussed. And also I would like to thank all the top 12 startups for their effort, time and willingness to be part of the whole week of Women Startup Summit and being part of the She Loves Tech India Global Competition as well. So we appreciate your quick and timely presentation. Looking forward to associate with you in the future as well. The session will resume. The pitching has come to an end, and the afternoon session will resume at the same link at 4 p.m. with Women Startup Summit. And thank you everyone for your presence. Have a good afternoon, and we can meet here in the same link at 4 p.m. Over to you, Srikuti.
Thank you, Rasik, and thank you, everybody. So I think we will have a quick break for the lunch, and then we'll meet at 4 p.m. as said. Thank you, Rasik.
Thank you. Meet you in the afternoon.